Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me, as always, that's my co-host, Nick Mason.
Great to be here.
You're bad at this. I'm better at that.
Well, I'm baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah, all right, man steps.
Thank you.
Should have just smashed it on the table.
And then said, man
Man
steps.
steps.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, there's always next week. Baby steps,
Man steps. Jesus. Mason.
Go on.
Anyway, big week. We're going to be talking Severance.
That's right.
With a very special guest coming in.
That's right, Adam Scott.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
You booked Adam Scott, right? Like we said.
I mean, I booked him, but we'll just see how it plays out.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But I think even if it was someone less famous than Adam Scott, the actor who's in the show Severance, even if it was somebody else, just a guy we know, I think people would appreciate it just as much.
Maybe he has an incredible comedy show that people could see and podcasts.
Adam Scott. Yeah, he's got Are You Talking U2 to Me? A podcast where he and Scott Aukerman talk about U2.
Yeah, okay. People should check that out. Mason.
Go on.
We got to, of course, the news of the week we got to get to. A bunch of things.
We got to get to it.
So there's time codes below if you want to hear about the Jason Bourne reboot, which might be happening.
Oh, yes.
We've got some Star Wars news, which I know you love.
I don't, though.
Heaps of trailers this week, including the Toxic Avenger, from the World of John Wick, Ballerina, Happy Gilmore 2, Materialists and Together.
That's right.
Netflix were apparently once in a big fist fight with Marvel, which we're going to hear about.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about how Apple are losing $1 billion a year on their programming. Plus some numbers regarding the Electric State and how well it's doing in streaming.
We're just going to say all sorts of numbers.
We certainly are.
Yeah.
Also,
what I would say is also, if there is going to be $1 trillion company or whatever, at least they're burning some of their money on.
I completely agree.
You know what I mean, if there's got to be one that's shaping the course of our society to the worst, and we're all looking at our phones all the time. At least there's going to be some great content on that phone. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning that a couple of weeks back we had two boys on from Plumbing the Death Star.
That's right.
Where they talked about Jaren's Outpost, which is their board game based on one of their D&D campaigns.
We've seen it, and it's real.
That's right.
It's a real board game.
Described as a chaotic board game full of funny quests and quirky characters based on the award-winning D&D's for Nerds
Not described
podcast.
by them.
That's how they describe it.
Okay, that's great.
But their Kickstarter is now, it's going.
It's well funded.
It's well funded, but you can get on board for that if you are interested. It's going to be linked below. It's Kickstarter/project/D&Ds for nerds/Jaren/-output. Just it's below.
It's linked below, isn't it? In the episode description.
So yeah, if you are interested in any of that, even like if you're vaguely interested, maybe just go down and have a look. See.
Yeah.
They are funded, so you don't need to fund them. Even they told me to say that.
Oh yeah, you said
they're
that.
happy with the
Just
amount
have
of
a look.
money.
Just have a
and
look.
Funding
They said
have.
if anything, more people funding this would be a headache.
Detrimental,
a real headache.
Yeah.
But if you think it was a fun prank to give them more work, you want to subscribe to their Kickstarter, pay the money.
Exactly. So obviously, because when they were on the show, you couldn't see the game, but it's all down there. Like you can see all the pieces and how it comes together. It's a beautifully constructed board game. The art's amazing.
There's cards. There's pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
There's rules. You don't have to use your imagination. It's
God.
based on D&D.
Oh, yuck.
You don't have to use any of that imagination of yours. Don't waste that.
I hate everything about what you've just said. So yeah, a bunch of goals there that they're trying to hit. Most of which I think they've hit at this point, or nearly hit. So very exciting if you want to get on board for that. Let's start here, Mason.
Go on.
Holy shit, that's Jason Bourne.
Oh, yes.
The reboot.
Is that what they say?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Doesn't somebody say, good Lord?
Good Lord, it's Jason Bourne. Yeah. So there's been 5 Jason Bourne.
Good Lord, I'm Jason Bourne of this franchise.
Are you?
Bring in Jeremy Renner. No, I'm hot for a new episode.
Jason episode.
Yep.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. Name all the Jason Bourne movies in order and their real names.
Bourne Identity.
Yep.
Comother. Bourne Ultimatum.
Maybe. Or Supremacy.
I was going to say that would be my next guess.
One or the other.
One of them's just called Jason Bourne.
From the World of Jason Bourne. That's the newest one from 2016, 9 years old now. That's where he fights Facebook.
Okay. And then there's...
with the one where he does the Renner round.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner is...
From the World of Jason Bourne, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, that's right.
A Jason Bourne story.
Yeah, adjacent Bourne.
Jason Bourne. That's good. That's the poster.
That's the
Done.
poster.
Adjacent
There it is.
Bourne.
We've done one early. I don't know what order they're in. How many are there?
There's
5,
five.
6? There's 5.
And a
okay.
TV series. Treadstone.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Treadstone.
Yeah.
Julia Stiles in Treadstone?
Maybe.
She in all of them?
I know she's in the movies.
Did she retire from acting?
I know she's in the movies.
That's great.
Yeah. Apparently, though, while you're looking that up.
I'm not. I'm doing an unrelated thing on my phone.
Okay, that's fine too. Well, while you're doing an unrelated thing, Universal not apparently, it's true, they no longer hold the rights to the Bourne franchise and they're being shopped around.
Cool. That means we could buy them.
We could buy them if we had Bourne money, which is a lot, I assume. So apparently Skydance are interested, Apple Studios are interested. I mean, they're $1 billion in debt, so why not at that point?
That's right.
Netflix.
Warner Brothers are interested in purchasing it and then just locking it away, making the whole thing and locking it away.
There was rumors this week that they want to sell the Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
cool.
To Ketchup Entertainment.
Go on,
And I
man.
had to look up Ketchup Entertainment. They're the people that are distributing the day the thing blow up. The current one. The current one. The current one's
which apparently is good. But we're not very interested in seeing it. But we are interested in Cody versus Acme. So we're torn, aren't we?
We are torn. Absolutely. We're Jason torn.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so Ketchup Entertainment, who's considering buying or is in negotiations to buy Coyote versus Acme. First of all, the number one reveal there is that Warner Brothers didn't destroy it.
Yeah,
they said someone said they did, but not true, evidently. And why would you?
Yeah.
Unless you're a meanie.
Well, there was some Batgirl stuff leaked this week. I don't know if you saw.
But Ketchup, the company, is best known for distributing Hypnotic, which is that movie where Ben Affleck, there's super hypnotists and the hypnotists do stuff.
Okay.
You know?
Yep.
That guy's hypnotic. He's a hypnotic.
He's hypnoting us.
Exactly.
Hypnoting us?
Memory, which I assume is somehow related to Hypnotic.
Which one's that?
But they also distributed Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Oh, a movie nobody saw or
Except
liked.
we saw it.
For us.
I saw it and liked it. Goodrich, never heard of it. And then The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie.
Okay.
So that's their deal, man.
Oh, Memory has some Jessica Chastain.
Maybe they've found their niche, which is just buy up Warner Brothers properties cheap that Warner Brothers doesn't want to distribute.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll find a little equilibrium there when Warner Brothers can go, I don't know, I think we're probably going to throw out this movie unless somebody buys it.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Yeah. Maybe they should.
Maybe they should get Batgirl.
Maybe they should get... We're never going to see that. Or if we will, it'll be years down the line or it'll get leaked, which is the thing I hope happens.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it gets leaked. But, it is what it is. Apparently Universal could still bid and get the rights back to Jason Bourne.
Okay.
But there was actually a 6th movie in the works, and it was by the director he did the newest version of All Quiet on the Western Front, and Matt Damon was going to be in it. And I haven't seen that movie, but apparently it's incredible. What other movie did he do that I really liked? I can't remember. Not Matt Damon.
The Martian.
The Martian, yeah, that's right. Remember when he went to Mars and he had potatoes or whatever.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen with this? I feel like if it goes to Apple or Netflix, they're going to just reboot it.
Yep.
But maybe, I don't know, if it stays theatrical, I guess there's a chance they bring Matt Damon back. But I'm also thinking they're probably looking at Reacher and Mission Impossible is wrapping up, and maybe there's room to. I mean, not Jack Reacher, which is the one who.
Jack Reacher.
No, it's Jim from The Office plays
Terminalist.
him. No, that's a different
Jack
one.
Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan's got rebooted
yeah.
recently-ish, and
Yeah.
they keep bringing him back. So
Could they do some
don't
sort
know.
of crossover universe where everybody, like they team up all the guys that are the literal best in the world?
Oh.
They just have to fight over who's literally the best in the world at
he's
everything?
the best in the world.
Probably Jack Reacher because he's the biggest.
He's the biggest, isn't he? I wouldn't mind, because I know there's books, or at least one on it. There's a Bourne the Jackal.
Is there? Crossover?
Book, isn't there?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Oh.
The Jackal series was incredible. Jason Bourne. I might have just made this up.
I think you've made it up in your brain.
Don't tell me what to do. Carlos the Jackal is in, apparently he's in maybe he's the Jackal.
Maybe he is, yeah.
But yeah.
It's a very common last name in the 60s. So.
It's true. So there you go. He's the main antagonist in the Bourne trilogy.
Oh.
Not in the movies, though.
No.
That was Clive Owen for a bit.
Clive
And then
Owen.
a different guy, etc.
A sort of
That
different
French
guys.
guy he beat up in the apartment.
Yeah,
and
the
whatever.
guy with the pen in his hand.
Pen in his hand.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Pierre pen in hand.
Bit of a peek behind the curtain for Caravan of Garbage this year, because there's new Mission Impossible movies, but we can't really cover those. We're going to do all the Jason Bourne movies.
Oh.
Did you know that?
Probably.
Now you know.
I know.
Street-
Knowing's half the battle.
That's right. And Double Dragon this week. We're doing Double Dragon and some other video game stuff.
Sorry if that's your favorite movie and you're like, I know it's bad, but I love it.
It's bad.
It is bad.
It's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, Jason Bourne, I guess.
Okay.
I can't say
A ringing, stirring endorsement. Both ringing and stirring.
my enthusiasm for Jason.
And stinging.
Yeah.
A stinging endorsement.
I think my enthusiasm for Jason Bourne has definitely waned.
Okay.
I mean, it has been 9 years, and I didn't love that last one.
Yeah. Where he fought Facebook.
We fought Facebook or whatever, and I didn't see the Jason Bourne or whatever it was called. But we will this year, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll figure all that out. And there's that video game. You know about that video game that's
Not
based
really.
off the first movie, but they couldn't get Matt Damon's right, so they They recreate a lot of scenes from the movie.
Okay.
1-to-1, except it's not Matt Damon.
Oh, but it's full motion video.
Yeah.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, not full motion video, sorry, but yeah, it's Mini-Me did it. It's like a generic third-person shooter. It's very interesting. Check out his YouTube Mini-Me if you want to hear about the production behind that. Anyway, Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Who knows? Spies
Bourne,
are cool now.
Are they cool?
No. When are we going to get a Salt reboot?
Never.
Yeah, never. Correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, Star Wars news.
Okay. If we must.
The Mandalorian and Grogu's production budget has been revealed.
It's too much.
It's $166 million.
Okay.
Apparently, they're getting something like a 21 or 23 million tax return from the California Film Commission.
Okay, sure.
Coming out of taxpayers' pockets, Mason.
Oh, they'll do anything.
So they can make a robot talk to a puppet or whatever this is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I mean, in California, I can believe it.
California.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you might be like, that's a lot of money.
I did say that.
But you're wrong.
What? Excuse me?
Because if you look at the budgets of the Disney-related Star Wars movies, this is by far the lowest. The Force Awakens apparently cost $447 million in total. Last Jedi was $300. Tross was $416. That's the Rise of Skywalker.
I know what it is.
Rogue One was $232. Solo was supposed to be the cheap one, but they had to refilm it.
That's right.
So that one's $271. So this is well
This is in
under.
the low end, isn't it?
I mean, I guess it's because they don't really need any of the main actors because they can voice them because they're under helmets and it's a puppet. So there's not a lot of A-list Hollywood stars you have to pay all the time, and they do it on the volume.
That's true. And it's set in a locked room.
Yes.
So the volume is just 4 bare walls. And it's like, how do we get out of this, Grogu? I don't know, man.
I don't talk.
But you're talking now just to tell me you don't talk?
That's right.
Huh. Very normal voice. I don't mind it. I expected something weirder.
Yeah, well, if you have expectations, you never learn.
Actually, that's very wise. It's very wise what you've said there, Grogu. It's weird as well because Yoda talks. He has a specific pattern of speaking that you don't have.
Yeah, he has an acquired brain injury.
Because of the swamp gas?
I'm not actually sure. No, he had it before that because if you've seen The Phantom Menace, which I presume you have, that's what we called that era of Star Wars. Which is
I have seen the documentaries about that era that we've lived through, yes.
So
I have, okay.
Yeah, he had it
He
then.
must have had it before then, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was something, maybe, I don't know, maybe he was cleaning his ear with a lightsaber and he went too deep.
You don't want to do that.
You can do it.
Yeah, but they say don't put anything in your ear that's smaller than your elbow or a lightsaber.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That is what they say.
Lightsabers are right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this room's not that interesting, is it?
No. Do you think I could get out by firing one of my numerous guns?
I mean, yeah, you could try.
Or do you think, Grogu, you could use the Force to open that?
How much of that am I doing?
Well, I think you only do it like towards the end.
Towards
the end of the runtime of the room, yes.
Is this an escape room? Is that what it is?
It might be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's Star Wars themed, which is where we live.
That's right.
That's what we call the universe.
Our Star Wars. We live in there,
That's
yes.
right. Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Sounds really good.
Sounds really good. Are you actually looking forward to it?
I'm largely indifferent.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But,
if it's only $160 million, it's probably 90 minutes. So.
Yeah, let's see a movie.
Yeah.
Let's see a movie for once in our goddamn lives.
Let's do it.
And speaking of, the boat's here with all its trailers.
Honk.
Whoa, big enthusiasm from the boat this week. Hello. Welcome back.
Thanks. Great to be here.
The boat doesn't talk. We're not doing another bit.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
No. Oh, welcome back, Mason.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
You don't talk either anymore.
Okay. All right. It's fine.
Yeah.
Great.
We got a bunch of stuff being unloaded, including one for the Toxic Avenger, which was shelved for the longest time.
That's right.
Billy
Joel style.
The
longest time.
I thought he was shelving.
You might have done. I don't know.
In the 80s.
I mean, he's had a rock and roll lifestyle, man.
It's true.
You know?
So
once you've burned out the cavity in your nose,
yeah,
you've
got to
put it
up there.
Got to put it somewhere.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean? Then you shelve it for the longest time. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I get it. So the Toxic Avenger, this is a trauma film. They filmed years ago.
Is it still trauma?
I don't know, but I assume so.
Okay then.
And then apparently it was good. People saying it's a fun, gory adventure.
Yep.
But also,
did you say Peter Dinklage in the role? Yes,
it was. I don't know if I said that, but he is. But they didn't know what to do with it. It's kind of a strange era for a movie like this.
Yeah.
Because the Toxic Avenger, the original movie, it's gross and gory and weird, and it's about a guy who gets toxified and then he fights crime on whatever.
Yeah, that's right. And then there was a kids
animated series
called Toxic Crusaders. Yeah.
I had some of those action figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This also stars in addition to Peter Dinklage, Jacob Tremblay and Kevin Bacon,
my
Elijah
God.
Wood, and then it's directed by Macon Blair, which sounds like Kevin Bacon under a pseudonym.
Oh, do you think it is?
Kevin Bacon and Macon Blair.
I mean, he'll do a strange little B movie, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
He did Super, which isn't, I feel, that
That's
far
true.
removed from this.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a very gory trailer from.
It's a very
little
gory
bit we
trailer.
say.
And when the version I watched, I said to you, is this the correct trailer? Because it's sort of, I don't know what the structure of this, but it's the same thing happens twice.
Like the whole thing repeats?
Not the whole thing, but
Yeah.
did
I don't remember. I
Okay,
watched it
so in the
2 days
trailer,
ago.
there's a hostage situation at a fast food. It's set up like initially you see it as kind of an ad, like a local ad for a
Yeah.
low budget kind of the fast food joint, and then some terrorists attack the fast food joint, and then you see the Toxic Avenger show up and he sweeps his mop into a terrorist face and it takes the front of his head off, and then there's some sort of more B-roll and news reports and stuff, and then the thing happens again. He shows up at
I don't know if I saw that version.
Okay,
of it.
well,
I don't know. Yeah.
okay.
I mean, maybe that's just a B movie kind of trope.
Maybe that's the trope. I
it's
don't know,
the
man.
glitching of the whatever.
Maybe it's
I was
the
gonna
glitching
bring
of the
it up,
whatever.
but, you know what? I just won't.
Wow.
I am interested in this though. I don't know what kind of release it's going to get here. Probably nothing, I'd imagine. I think it might be a streaming thing,
Yeah.
depending on where you are
Looks
in the
pretty, I
world.
mean, it looks fun.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage is doing all the makeups
Yes, that's true.
and all of that. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this will do well.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I mean, people love gross stuff at the moment, The Substance,
Yep.
and another movie that we're going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if it costs not that much, maybe it'll do.
Maybe it'll do pretty
some
well. Yeah.
numbers,
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Because they won't
wow.
promote it properly. Yeah. Also, the trailer has a glitch in it, apparently. Or something.
Yeah.
What you said.
Well, I watched it on the Moviegasm channel, so maybe they
Yeah.
their own little.
Maybe you should
edit there.
subscribe to one more YouTube channel because that's the only thing you ever talk about. Moviegasm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about this.
Go on.
From the world of John Wick,
Yes.
Ballerina.
That's right.
Yeah, this is out June
Yeah.
6th.
She gets those hard to reach kills.
She certainly does. Get ready for somebody to hand someone else a weird coin.
That's
In
right.
a weird hotel. Because John Wick
checking
is back.
in. Oh, with a coin. Oh, in the
Very
in the
good.
mysterious killing assassin hotel.
I
A
don't
coin,
know. I
you
feel
say?
like you just have pockets of coins.
You be jingling and jangling.
Weird, heavy coins.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can't only use some in certain places and not others. I don't know. I don't know.
That's what you hung up on.
I don't know.
Okay.
This is set before John Wick 4.
Correct. Yes.
And it has an appearance of Keanu Reeves itself, which I think will go a long way in terms of getting this sane.
How long do you think that scene is?
I think it's probably towards the end and they have a bit of a showdown. And then he's like, I respect you actually.
Yeah.
Because you, like me, like running around.
That's correct. Yes.
And that's,
But you've innovated because you are doing the rare shotgun and flamethrower combination, which I think is actually terrific.
Now, a lot of this got reshot.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Len Wiseman who directed this?
It might have been. Yeah.
Let me check. And
Seems
then,
plausible.
and then I think...
Is his name in the directorial credit? Or
Yeah,
no?
so it's Len Wiseman who did some of the Underworld movies.
Correct.
And then I believe, I think Chad Stahelski came back
Okay.
to like re-film it or something because they
Yep.
weren't happy with the way it. Oh, it's also got Lance Reddick in it.
It sure does.
I wonder if that's like archival footage or did they shoot some of this before he passed?
It's tough to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know.
It also has the classic trope of like you're getting geared up with all your guns, but they have to do it via a weird metaphor. This time
Oh,
around,
yeah.
it's like you're going on a big game hunt. How big is the game hunt?
It's a person,
Oh,
so as big as a man
and are you interested in some special equipment?
to shoot these people. The
Some
people I'm gonna
special
shoot. Yes,
equipment? Okay.
I am.
Welcome to our burger establishment. Do you want a big burger?
Is that like a gun or is that a literal burger?
Would you like a big burger or a small? Do you want a silenced burger, sir?
Or a burger that shoots a rocket
That's right.
and has a knife in
That's
it.
right. Would you be interested in acquiring our bulletproof McDonald's apron for your burger making experience?
Oh, I'd get so lost in this world. I wouldn't know what anything
What
costs.
am I working at the McDonald's or am I buying
I don't
from
know.
McDonald's?
Yeah, exactly. And like, am I supposed to get change with this coin? How many guns or burgers do you get with it? Is it also? It would also operate as a regular burger establishment,
Yes,
wouldn't it? Because
that's right. So this he's there and he's like, he's doing a double shift.
I hate it.
Yeah, he's doing 12 hours. He's doing the overnights. He's getting drunk teenagers in, being like,
Oh my
doing
God.
graffiti in the toilets or whatever. And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
I signed up to this to get given golden coins and handing guns to mysterious assassins. I got to work the fryer later.
Ridiculous.
I'm mad actually.
So apparently Chad Stahelski did step in to do some reshoots, but apparently, but then there's been like dispute of that where maybe that's not the case.
Oh.
So maybe potentially not. This was filmed a while ago, as that's my understanding. Oh, I will say that it looks good.
It does look good.
Action looks solid. It looks like a John Wick movie. It doesn't look like th've skimped on any of the like the beautiful visuals, etc. Neon.
Neon, absolutely.
Night.
Yeah. That's right.
John Wick.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's out as mentioned June 6th. Then we've got Happy Gilmore 2.
That's right.
Another trailer that starts with a sad piano.
Yeah. Now you said, should we skip this?
Yeah.
And I said no.
But then you watch the trailer.
People need to know about Happy Gilmore 2.
I should watch Happy Gilmore again. I think I liked it, didn't I?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How you feeling about
people
it?
generally like
How you
it.
feeling about it?
I will probably not watch this unless there's
on
nothing else
Netflix.
happening this week. Still, there's a lot of stuff on Netflix, isn't there?
Did you watch
I could just watch Uncut Gems again.
Oh, yeah, it's a good movie. Did you watch Murder Mystery or Murder Date or whatever, the one he did with Jennifer Aniston?
I think so.
Yeah, and there's 2. They made 2 of those.
Yeah.
Did you watch the second one?
No, I think I've watched the first one.
Interesting.
But honestly, who knows?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this one, he hasn't picked up a club in a long time, but now he's got to pick up those clubs.
That's right.
And there's clearly like a little montage of all real life famous golfers now.
Yeah.
Saw that.
He came because there's busts of different golfers.
Yes.
And he's after Tiger Woods, apparently.
Correct. Yes.
That's not how it. It's not how it worked in the
James,
real world.
I don't know. I do not know.
It's not how it works, Mason.
Isn't it?
No.
Did he precede Tiger Woods?
Yeah, well, this came out in what, 97?
Okay.
I mean, Tiger Woods was golfing then, but he
wasn't a
I feel
superstar
like,
then.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think it's for the joke, honestly.
I mean, it's a great joke.
Yeah.
Do you think it would have worked better if they showed a weird one of him and then they went, oh, and
and
Tiger
then also
Woods.
Tiger Woods. Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Do you think they're going to bring back Carl Weathers in some way?
Because he died.
Because he died. I mean, he died in the first movie.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't put it past,
Mr. Miyagi came back
in the clouds,
for,
maybe.
for Karate Kid.
Cobra
he came
Kai.
back in a dream or
Did he?
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
And it looks odd. But
Okay,
he's there.
okay. I don't think Adam Sandler would disrespect his friend Carl Weathers like that.
I think he might.
Yeah, he might. I'll say yeah.
That's fine.
Very easily. He
We're
might
all
do that.
doing it now.
Yeah.
We're all doing it,
That's
Mason.
right. Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see whenever that's out. Materialists is interesting.
Okay.
So that's the one with Chris Evans and
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal and Dakota Johnson
From Madam
and
Web.
it just looks like a straight up early 2000s, late 90s romantic comedy.
Except, where's the jokes?
That's what I mean. I think
Yes.
it looks good though.
Interesting.
I feel
okay.
like this is a throwback and like the chemistry is there and the dynamic is there.
I think the plot certainly is because it's Hitch essentially. It's a woman and
Yeah.
she's Dakota Johnson is a matchmaker but she doesn't have time for love. But then what if she meets a real rich guy and a real slob played by Chris Evans?
Yeah.
Slobbiest guy in Hollywood.
So slobby.
Yeah. He's wearing his brown clothes from Red One.
Oh, he was a
Brown
slob in
outfits.
that other one I saw that I didn't like.
Go on.
Oh, Apple Plus. Anna de Armas was in it.
Ghosted.
Yeah, you know Ghosted.
I know Ghosted.
God, why am I forgetting about Ghosted?
I don't know.
I really liked this.
Okay,
I don't know.
alright.
I just think it felt like an authentic recreation of, like a Sleepless in Seattle and a
Yeah,
whatever.
right,
that
okay,
kind of.
sure.
Because that's like, I would say there's going to be jokes in this, but it's not like Sleepless in Seattle
Yeah.
and a lot of movies from that era. They're not wall to wall with jokes.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, what if nice people?
Yeah, that's
were
true. But I mean, if Dakota Johnson has
misunderstandings.
to choose between two nice people and one of them's a billionaire,
Yeah.
which one's she going to pick?
I would pick the billionaire.
Yeah, same. He's got $1 million rug or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And $1 billion.
Yeah, that's right.
$1 billion
And
heir.
Chris Evans is a dirty slob.
Yeah, he sleeps in a sink or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. What is a drink of choice? A beer and a Coke.
It's a beer and a Coke, yeah.
That's separate.
Or a wine and a Coke?
No, I think it was a beer.
Okay.
And then he hands her a beer, but it's like half drunk.
Oh, is that a joke?
I don't know.
Is that the quality of joke we're going to be getting from this movie?
Mason, you
which
know
might not
jo-
even be
you
a
know-
comedy.
yeah.
Because if it's not a comedy, I guess we'd be like, wow, what a sweet relief. A joke in this
I don't-
absolute
let me
Sahara of
I
non-jokes.
don't know, man. It's got good vibes from this. Let me check. It's a upcoming romantic comedy. There you go.
All right then. Well, if that thing you've Googled says it is, then I guess it is.
If you go to her.ie,
Okay, from
That-
Ireland.
their their title for this is everyone is saying the same thing about the materialist. Yep, just got to reject all these cookies, which is now a thing on every fucking website.
Why don't you just take those cookies, man? Don't you love cookies?
No.
Okay.
What
They
is
should
it?
be, because people are rejecting this because they hate the idea of cookies now. So they should be like, you want some of this heroin?
Oh.
You want some of this internet heroin? And you'd be like, accept all.
It doesn't say anything about it. It says everybody says whatever, but it's
Okay.
There's nothing in here that. What are people saying?
I don't know, man. You should have accepted those cookies and then maybe they would tell you.
Everyone is saying the same thing about what? Nothing. What?
Why have you gone to this website you've never heard of?
I just Googled it and that was the first article.
Well,
so I guess
they got
people are
you.
saying they're glad this is back. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, great. I'm looking forward to it. When is it out? Everyone, shut up.
What is Pedro Pascal's character flaw? Is that he's too much business?
Do you think she's going to choose June 13th?
I think it would be funny if she chose the billionaire. Like
Yeah.
at the end, the final scene, she's like, honestly,
You're
Chris,
both nice and he's
you're
a
both
billionaire.
nice, but he's got so much more money than
Yeah.
you.
I don't want to sleep in a sink with you, Chris Evans.
There's not enough room.
No. Unless it was a double sink.
That's right.
Maybe he's like, I'll put in a double sink for you. I might not be a billionaire, but
I could put in a double sink that we could both sleep in. Then we could cover ourselves in trash bags.
that's right.
Yeah,
Which is what I want.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
last
just a dreamer, all right?
Yeah, that's
and an
right.
artist.
God bless him. Next up, we've got a trailer for the movie Together. This is one of Neon's next movies. Neon, of course, recently won Best Picture for Anora. But of course, if you've seen Parasite, they released that. Longlegs, The Monkey recently. And I bring this up also because I've seen this.
You've seen it
I saw
in
this like
advance.
6 to 8 months ago, a very early screening. So the director
you know
of this,
the director of this.
full disclosure. Michael Shanks, I know him. About 5 years ago, he made a short. He's done a bunch of stuff.
You call him Shanksy.
I call him Shanksy.
You call him Lamb Shanksy.
I do call him that.
If you bring him on the show, you should call him Lamb Shanksy the whole time.
Yeah, I will call him Lamb Shanks. He knows that.
Yeah, good.
So he made
Lamb
this.
Shanksy and mash potatoes.
What's that part of it though? What does that even mean? Does he have a friend that he's bringing?
Oh, maybe. Could he acquire a friend that we could nickname Mashed Potatoes?
I think he could.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him doing
I think
that.
most people have a buddy that you could conceivably nickname Mashed Potatoes at
Yeah,
short
that's
notice.
you for me.
That's right.
There's James and his friend Mashed Potatoes.
That's right.
Um,
It's gravy, in case you were wondering.
So he did a short about 5 years ago. It's a stop motion short. Oh, Michael Shanks, by the way, not the guy from Stargate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just to
right.
clarify.
Yeah. There's two Michael Shankses.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of really cool stuff.
You
on
never
his,
call him Lamb Shanks.
No, you would never.
No.
He's got a bunch of stuff on his YouTube channel, Tim Fed. Rebooted, it was called. It's like a 12-minute short. It's about a stop motion skeleton who got a lot of work in like the Harryhausen era.
Okay,
and then
yeah.
is out of work, and then
Yeah,
so
right.
I've also got an interview on the main channel where I just talked to him about that and all the other bunches of other stuff he did.
Because he sort of started out doing visual effects.
Yeah, he's that.
Like just like in his bedroom. I
Yeah,
guess.
so he's. As we talk about in the video, like he didn't go to university. He did some work for The Escapist, and that's kind of how he started. And he made short films and stuff through Screen Australia. So this is his first feature film.
Yeah.
And it's screened around, a few festivals recently, and it's doing very well. People love it. It got picked up by Neon, as mentioned.
It's got real life married couple, Alison Brie and Dave Franco in it.
That's right. And again, I know him. We're not best friends. I'm not his mashed potato.
That's right.
So
Oh, thanks, man.
but, I wish.
Yeah.
But I think it's genuinely great. And I think people should, if you like the substance, it's
So
not-
would you say it's gory?
I would say
Because
it's
there's
more,
very little in this trailer.
Yeah, I'm not
that
going to
tells
give.
what
I'm
it
not
is,
going to
yeah.
give it away.
Okay.
I would say it's more kind
You're not
of.
going to Red Hot Chili Peppers this.
Yeah, it's more kind of upsetting, disturbing, but it's not gory in the sense of like you're not watching people get like torn apart like Terrifier or whatever. It's not that kind of. It's more kind of
subtle.
upset. Well, at times upsetting kind of body horror.
You're holding a knife, James.
I am hiding. Oh, this is also a bottle opener, which is what I was using it
Okay.
for. Oh no, I opened a box with it earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I reached out to him as well, and we're probably going to hopefully get him on the show before that comes out in August.
Great.
So he's great, and I'm just going to, you should see it.
Yeah.
See it, Mason.
I will. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I'll
Great.
bring my best friend mashed potatoes.
Is that me?
No,
Oh.
it's a different guy. You've already seen it.
So how mashed potatoes is he compared to you? Are they getting mashier? Or is this progresses.
Why are you suddenly so interested? Before you weren't interested at all. And now you're so interested in the hierarchy of guys called mashed potatoes.
I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
Yeah. So without giving it away, would you say this is an effects-heavy movie? And did he do the effects? Or
He
has
did some
handed
of them.
off? Okay, right.
Because he does have that background, but no, he wrote and directed, and he did some of the. He was saying more of the minor special effects,
right.
but there are more complicated stuff in this.
right.
Which also, when I saw a lot of that stuff, wasn't finished.
Mm-hmm.
Which didn't affect the experience of this at all. Also, you should see this with an audience because it's got you're gonna have very visceral reactions.
Interesting.
At times.
Okay.
I'm glad this is getting a proper release and not going to streaming.
I have heard good things about this.
Yeah.
Not just from you, a guy who's biased, because he's your best friend. I was going to say, also he did, people who don't know, he did a show called The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, The Wizards of Oz.
The Wizards of Oz.
Yeah.
Oz, AUS?
AUS, yeah.
Yeah, which is, again, a very effects-heavy thing. It's set in a sort of a neighborhood where there's a rival wizards?
Yeah.
Is that what I've seen it, but
Yeah.
I remember
Mark
enjoying
Bonanno from
Mark
Auntie
Bonanno
Donna's
is one
in
of the
it,
wizards, yes.
Yeah, they did amazing stuff with like the budget of that, considering
Yeah.
what they got.
Also, when he's there, we're going to ask him about Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider's in it.
Oh, right, how he got away with that.
He just put Ghost Rider
just
in
put
it.
it in, yeah.
Ghost Rider.
I don't want to get him in trouble.
Well, I'll ask him off air.
Time Trap's great, his short film. He also did, people will remember, we talk about this in that old video if people want to check it out. He did the George Lucas version of the Force Awakens trailer.
Oh.
With all the CGI shit just like on top of it.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so great. Very talented, very funny guy. Okay, Mason, let's talk about this.
Go on.
There was a fist fight over at Netflix in regards to their Marvel show. Did you know
Is that the name of a movie?
No.
There was a fist fight over at Netflix. I think that should be.
That would be a
that
movie
should
I
be a
would
show.
watch. Yeah. This is by Variety. So Netflix's Ted Sarandos. This is the headline. Netflix's Ted Sarandos isn't done disrupting Hollywood, on winning the streaming wars, a Marvel fist fight and defending Meghan Markle.
It's too long, isn't it? It's too long.
It's a good title.
It's
really,
too long.
it's catchy. And I'll remember that. This is my mashed potatoes.
That doesn't even make any sense.
I don't get that joke in the first place.
I'm not even sure it was a joke. Collings, note down in the notes if it was a joke.
Yeah, please do. So basically, people will remember this. In 2013, Marvel made a deal with Netflix to bring some of their. Everybody knows this, I know, but this is
Daredevil and Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, or whatever, to make a bunch of series of ground level, street level heroes that would then culminate in
The Defenders.
Which
Everybody watched and loved.
They did. And so the quote from this is, by far, our Marvel deal, which was in 2013, was the biggest deal in the history of television. No one will ever touch it. We committed to 5 original seasons of TV with no pilots, 13 expensive episodes for each show centered around one character, and then a crossover season. On our shows, we were dealing with the old Marvel television regime, which operated independently at Disney. We've talked about this before. So basically, there's a Marvel story group that was made independent of the movies because
Ike Perlmutter,
who was headed up that with some others, was sidestepped by Kevin Feige so he could make the kind of movies that he wanted. And as consolation, I guess, Ike Perlmutter was given control of the television properties, which is why
surprising how good most of them are.
Yeah, well, this is what we're going to talk about here as well. Which also led to the Inhumans and...
Some of them were bad.
Some of them were bad. But the initial Netflix stuff, I would say on the whole is good and well-liked, even if a little drawn out, and for reasons we might find out here. He said, on our shows, we were dealing with the old Marvel television regime, which operated independently at Disney, and they were thrifty. And every time we wanted to make the shows bigger or better, we had to bang on them. Our incentives were not well aligned. We wanted to make great television. They wanted to make money. I thought we could make money with great television.
Oh, well, that's your first mistake, isn't it?
Yeah. And they said, as producers, whatever they didn't spend at Marvel, they kept. So every time we wanted to add something
there
to
it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's the rort. We knew it.
Yeah.
We knew it all along. It is a money laundering scheme.
Every
Allegedly.
time we wanted to add something to the show to make it better, it was a fist fight. So it wasn't a literal fist fight, it would seem. But that makes sense
It's
why...
like somebody pretending to be a tough guy.
Yeah. Those shows never kind of went beyond a certain...
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, or like a certain filming...
That's 6-block radius or whatever it is.
Like a filming style, like the way it looks, the way power was progressed. You know, it was... They never kind of went...
Right.
And I guess that makes sense now.
Well, yeah, but also, you know, I mean, how much more freedom did they want? Are they going to have Daredevil fight the Hulk or something?
Maybe. I mean, wouldn't that have been fun?
That would have been cool.
To watch Daredevil get killed by the Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah. I know. I just thought that was really interesting. That biggest deal in television history.
You say so.
Maybe. I don't know.
If you say so.
You say so. Ted Sarandos isn't done disrupting Hollywood, on winning the streaming wars, a Marvel fistfight and defending Meghan Markle. I didn't get up to the Meghan Markle bit of the article. I wasn't very interested.
I tuned off like 4 or 5 words in, so I hope his colon's doing all right.
Me too. Alrighty. Now for this next bit of news, Mason, we need a guest. Because we're talking big money, we're talking big deals, and this is the lead up to Severance, where we also have a guest. And also, this guest, I'm a big fan, just of the man and also the work that he does.
And the word guest.
I love saying the word guest. And these drinks that he bought us in the middle of the day, we're drinking Canadian Club's Zero Sugar Dry.
Not sponsored, but could be.
Yeah.
Could be sponsored if you really wanted to.
Who's that?
Oh,
Who's
no,
voice?
I spoke too soon. I just did ask you before, when can I interrupt safely?
We're like,
Does
don't.
this
Don't.
can of Canadian Club have the spirit of a podcaster in it who died? Because we cracked it and he's like, hey.
God, I hate saying
Oh, that
this.
tastes good.
Oh, this is very good.
You're enjoying
good,
it?
right?
It's
Am
just
I
a
an
sugary
alcoholic?
syrup. We might just be us boys just
You're
drinking
like an
that.
alcoholic, but for booze. You know?
That's a fun thing to say.
Yeah, right.
Isn't it just? Now, I want to talk about your shows and stuff that you've got going on. If
It's
you
Sam
don't
Petersen.
mind.
My name's
Oh,
Sam
Sam
Petersen.
Petersen,
Thank
sorry.
you so much. Thank you so much.
I was
Having
gonna
a
say-
nice Canadian club.
I was going to say that later as well. But,
Late at the end.
yeah, at the end.
It's
This
a
is
pullback
guessing
and
game.
reveal.
Who's here?
could
Who
that
can
be?
guess from the voice?
Who likes Canadian clubs at midday?
So this is why the information. So Apple, of course, they got this huge streaming
What's that?
platform. What?
The information.
That's where it's from.
Okay.
I think
Said,
they.
what's Apple?
It's a fucking website.
Our information desk.
Yeah, it's our
We have to
information
sign
desk.
in.
The
Okay.
guy that we have, and he wears a little headset and he's talking to somebody. I don't know.
genius, that's what they call him.
That's right. So apparently, Apple is losing $1 billion a year due to overspending on its original programming.
Did you say $1 million?
$1 billion.
What?
Billion. That's even more, I believe.
Yeah, it's
that's a
bit
B,
more.
isn't it?
So their expenses for that year in 2024 was $4.5 billion, as opposed to the $5 billion they'd been spending up to that point. So they did manage to.
They all got
cut
bonuses.
costs. Yeah, exactly. They did manage to cut costs in 2024. But this has been steadily losing money for Apple since they launched in 2019. It's interesting because they do have all these quality programs. I feel like the name of Apple and what they bring out, people generally like it.
Yeah.
Was that movie Ghosted?
Ghosted.
One of
Did you ever
theirs,
see
for
Ghosted?
I
example?
love
Does
Ghosted.
this just include TV or is this TV and movies?
This is everything that they just produce
Okay.
for that streaming service. Some of it goes cinematic, but that also loses money. Remember
Did
that?
Ghost to go cinematic?
No, it couldn't.
It couldn't. It actually never could. It's not legal.
They tried to bring the film cans into theaters and they just dissolved.
Ghosted, if you
They,
would.
they ghosted
If you would,
them.
and I will.
Yeah. Apparently, though, over the last few months, they did gain 2 million subscribers because of Severance.
I subscribed.
Yeah,
I did too,
welcome.
this week.
exactly.
But
There you go.
Well, that you've still got your chance to unsubscribe.
That's right,
You
yeah.
don't
2 million and 2. Now it's down to, after watching Severance, it's back down to 2 million.
They got me for 3 years, I reckon, because when I bought a new phone or a new something, you get a year
must
of
be
Apple
nice.
Plus. Thanks. And,
Congratulations, by the way.
and for some reason, I didn't realize that I forgot that it ticked over. So I was just like, this free trial.
I'm killing
It's
it.
got for years. And then I looked at it and I'd been paying for it for,
But that's how
for quite
cashed
a
up
while.
you are. You don't even notice that. That's
I don't
chump
even
change for
mind.
you.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing to me.
That's why the $500,000 went. That
Yeah.
was you.
That was
your
me.
money.
That
Your
was just
money.
exclusively me.
Now, how much is Apple worth?
Okay, so I have these numbers
I
here.
knew it'd happen.
Yeah,
I teed him
you
up
would
for this.
never-
I don't even know, but James is a professional.
And he knocked it out of the park.
That's right. Actually, I don't know.
Oh.
No, I do know. So
It was a fun build-up, though. I liked it.
One
What a tease.
$1
It's such a tease to say I have the information and then go, and actually I
yeah,
don't.
I'm not going to either. So their gross profit for the 12 months leading up to December 31st.
And it is gross.
Oh, it
Oh,
is
it's
it.
yuck.
So in 2024 was $184 billion.
Okay.
So it's basically a 6% increase year over year. So I feel like Apple Plus is just like promotion.
It's a rounding
really,
error.
for them.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
nothing.
Yeah.
Why are they doing that, do you think? Why are they operating at a loss? Is it just to compete with the bigger
I think
the
it
bigger
is, and then
streaming
they can
services?
swallow up other companies and buy IP and whatever they want to do. I mean, because
Buy IP freely.
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here a week. Try the veal.
Because for them and like Amazon, it's not the only thing that they do, so they don't care. For Netflix,
Yeah.
it's more of a problem because they don't
Yeah,
really do
sure.
anything else. I
Are
mean,
they losing money? Are they hemorrhaging money as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
big
yeah.
time. Yeah.
massively.
Well,
You
a
weren't
great
here-
market to get
You
into.
weren't here for last week where we talked about The Electric State, a movie that cost allegedly $320 million, and everybody watched it and went, this is bad to find.
yeah.
So,
This is bad to find. $320 million
Yes.
on one film.
yeah.
Oh, that's
streaming.
wild. For streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why are they spending that kind of money? Is it just to try and like make it look like the best and biggest, and they're just going to try and
It's a mystery. Like
Yeah.
back in the supposedly, and also the thing about Netflix is it's this weird black hole with like a lot of other. At least with like Apple, you've got Tim Cook. He's the guy. Who's the guy? The Netflix guy? Something
Ted Sarandos.
Ted Sarandos.
Yes.
Right? But there's no personality behind Netflix.
No.
And it's just kind of like
Cut that
this-
smile when you log in. That's always a nice
It goes to
greeting.
and you go,
I don't know about this guy.
But it's like there's no personality, and that supposedly so much is driven by some algorithm we never get to see or whatever.
Yeah.
And for years it was like,
And people who make the stuff don't know.
Yeah.
Like we know some people who made a Netflix show, and they were kind of just
Insert
thrown
name
aside.
here. That's right. But they also don't announce. They don't have to say how many people watch, do they? They don't have to announce those figures.
Well, they do if it's successful.
But yes, but the algorithm is so mysterious, and it's like for a long time everybody went, okay, well, they made a movie and it cost $100 million, but 1 million more people subscribed to watch that, and so they retained them for a couple of years, so what have you.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like surely you've captured everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Who it's
Yeah.
possible. Like if you want Netflix at this point, you've subscribed to Netflix.
You've already got it. Yeah.
You've already got it, and you've forgotten about it. So like there's a limit to like if you're spending $320 million on a movie, who's left to who's jumping on for that, and how are you making that money back?
Well, I looked at my streaming services the other day just to be like,
What do you got?
Well,
Where you at?
I have all of them apart
Same.
from Apple was the one I didn't have. But I was like, someone said, oh, it's on the new show. They're like, it's on Prime. And I was like, I don't have Prime. And I was like, logged on to Prime. I was like, oh shit, I have Prime.
Yeah.
And going, oh, I have Paramount Plus and I have Binge. And I was just like, oh, I do not need any of these. And
You've
then
got more than I do.
I started like just deleting them. And then as soon as I started deleting them, then it was like, oh, White Lotus is out. And I was like, oh, how do I watch one? Oh, damn, they got me again.
That's why I haven't watched White Lotus, because I was like, I hate Binge. I hate this.
I hate Binge.
I hate
It's the
whole
worst service.
Yeah,
It's
and
so
then I
bad.
got rid of it, and then White Lotus came out. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're not
gonna
sponsored by Binge.
yeah.
I
I think I have
been.
done a sponsorship for Binge.
Yeah, but you love them.
yeah,
If they
I'll-
want to
I'll
come
take
back at
their
any
money.
point,
I don't
I'll
give
take
a
their
shit.
money. I won't say a good word about them, but I'll take their money. That's why I once got a sponsorship from HelloFresh, and they
Yeah.
sent me a box, and I was like, oh, this is great. So I was like, talking about it on my podcast and everything. And then they must have listened to 2 weeks before where I'd actually tried HelloFresh before, and I threw out the cooling bag, which was in there. I was just like, just chuck that out. But I didn't know that had all the meat in it. So I got to like HelloFresh, and I was like, oh, there's no meat. It's just what a shit product. And then someone wrote in and went, I did the same thing. It's actually a freezer bag of all the meat that you threw out. And I'd complained to HelloFresh, and I was like, then I got a sponsorship with them, and I was really backpedaling, going, anyway, it's a great product. It's a great product. And they listened to one of the episodes and sent me a grab of that. And They found it funny, thank God.
Oh,
but I
God.
got sent by someone who was a listener of the podcast the grab of me talking about HelloFresh for ages, just bragging on it. It was like, I'll take your money though. Thank you so much.
I love HelloFresh, and it's really good unless you're stupid. Unless you're stupid like me and you throw the meat away,
What
you'd
a
have to
big
be
dum-dum.
stupid, wouldn't you?
Just crying.
I'm sorry.
It's my notes app apology to HelloFresh.
I mean, they're a wonderful service.
Oh,
Are
Now,
we
James,
sponsored
not
by
a
them
bad word
at the
about
moment?
them.
I can't
we
remember.
have been.
Yeah.
We were sponsored by Green Chef as well.
Did we have, yeah, we did.
Chef.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What's
Great.
that? Is that just a Shrek-looking chef?
Yeah, it's a
It's a
guy.
Shrek-looking chef.
You
know
fire,
about it.
You fire up your app, and a Shrek-looking chef
Yeah.
shows up at your house, and
He's cooking
he's
toadstools
cooking.
and worms
you
or
can't
whatever.
get him to leave.
And go, can I do this? He's funny.
Oh yeah, he's
That
funny.
guy is funny.
Now, James, you were saying you have some numbers there.
Yeah,
The
so
numbers.
apparently the Electric State won't crack Netflix's top 10 of all time. It got 25 million views in its opening weekend. So that's behind A Family Affair, which got 26 million. What is that? I don't know. Atlas, which was
Was A Family Affair the Nicole Kidman?
No, that was Baby Girl. No, that was.
No, I'm thinking of the series, The Family Affair, I think was the...
You
Is
think
that-
of Family
that. A
Matters?
Family Affair is a
Steve
Nicole.
Urkel? Steve Urkel?
Steve, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
do
thinking of.
that.
I'm always thinking of
Yeah,
Urkel.
that's right.
Family Affair was a Nicole Kidman one. Was
Yeah.
the Nicole Kidman Zac Efron one?
Yes,
Oh.
yes,
Yeah.
they made love.
They did.
Oh,
Beautiful
nice.
film.
Nice.
Yeah. It was the least chemistry I've ever seen on screen. And you know what? I loved it.
I love that
Loved it.
non-chemistry.
I love seeing every time I see chemistry, I go, yuck, not for me. I want to see Shrek cooking me a meal with no chemistry.
The Electric State cost $320 million, and it got 25 million views.
Yeah.
So that's 12. I've got the figure 12.8 here. What does that
That's
mean?
huge, 12.8.
12.8.
That's a
What?
great
I
figure.
don't know. Is that
What did you divide by
It's
what?
12.8.
I divided
8%.
320 million by 25
Oh,
million.
okay.
So what is that? Views? Did they get 12.8 people?
12.8
12.8 people.
Is that how much it costs per
per view, I guess.
I think I was the 0.8 of the people.
12.80 per view.
Great.
Yeah. And I guess, well, that isn't
It's
even
a good
covered
number.
month of Netflix anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I've got 15.5. I just typed that into my calculator.
That's good. Turn it upside down. What's it say?
That says boobs.
Oh, nice.
I can't read.
Worth it. Worth it.
Yeah, it's worth
Then
it.
there was Atlas, which was the
Jennifer Lopez, and she's a robot.
She's in a robot suit.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
That had 28 million. Then Damsel, which was another Millie Bobby Brown movie, that had 35 million. I didn't
Yeah.
mind that one.
Okay.
I didn't mind that one. Then The Grey Man, which was another Russo brothers one who directed The Electric State. They also directed the last two Avengers movies. So
Right,
that's why
okay.
they're getting
Yep,
this money.
yep.
That got 41 million. I haven't seen it, but apparently it's boring. Carry On, which is Die Hard, but at an airport. So Die Hard
Die
show.
Hard in an airport.
That got 42 million. Don't Look Up, which was the
Oh, that was huge.
DiCaprio
Yeah.
environment movie.
that got 46 million. Back in Action was 46 million, a bit above that, and that was the Jamie Foxx, Cameron Diaz one.
Oh, yes.
Where they're like, our parents are spies. What?
Yeah,
We thought you were
yeah,
nerds,
yeah.
but you're cool.
Cameron's back.
She's back.
She's back, baby. Thinking better than ever.
Then the Adam Project, we got 51 million, and Red Notice is still the biggest movie,
Red Notice, really?
75.6 million.
Oh, Sammy.
It comes up a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about Red Notice almost constantly because we're always watching it.
You're always watching it. Can't
Have you
stop.
seen Red Notice?
I have seen Red Notice, yeah.
Isn't
and
it not really a movie?
It's so confusing as well. Like, yeah, it is not really a movie. I love things that are just short of a movie, though.
Yeah.
Where you go, what is it? There was one with Anna Kendrick that was on. It was a game show and it was a murder.
Oh, I watched that one.
Yeah, and it was kind
Women
like,
of the
oh,
Hour?
I didn't mind that
yeah,
one.
it was fine, but it was kind of like, why is this a movie? Like, it was kind of like, it wasn't really about the show really at all.
Yeah.
I think it was led as something else, and it was just going, why did they make this? But I think they're out of other ideas, maybe.
Yeah, so that's where we're at, the state of streaming. Pretty impressive stuff all in all. I mean, there's got to be a breaking point for this, I assume, because they're looking for infinite growth.
Yeah.
But you can't. I think we're just going to be seeing less of these. $320 million.
Wasn't it like when the Xbox came out, like they were losing like something like $100 or something a console because it was like they were trying to compete with PS? And it's like, at what point do you stop doing that?
right.
Yeah.
Does a CEO ever come in and go, guys, we are hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to pay the bills.
Someone should get fired.
Someone should get fired. And I'm looking at me. I've always got a mirror. I'm looking at me.
So that's where we're at. But look, before we get into Severance, Sam, you're the author of The Barefoot Investor. We'll put
Thank
that
you for
aside.
saying that.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's
Incredible
coming out
book.
today.
You've got 3 podcasts, which we could touch on. Confessions, which is incredible, and you do amazing live shows. You do one with Bron Lewis, your 2 drunk aunties.
You nailed it.
You got a new one with Georgia Love, Not Another Crime podcast.
Yes.
Just can't wait to come on. I've got
Oh
a
my
great
God,
story
yeah.
just ready to go.
Oh
Mason.
my God.
It's just a crime that I did.
It's just
I was
a
gonna
crime
say,
that
you're
you
doing a
did.
crime.
Just a horrible crime that you did. But I have got 3 podcasts. It's probably too many podcasts. But Confessions I've been doing for almost 7 years, and that is wrapping up.
That's
so
your
I've got
confession,
a
isn't
few. That's
it?
my confession, my one true confession that I wrote all of the confessions myself. That is my final confession. But I find confessions on reddit.com, the beautiful website, and I'm sure your listeners know all about that. Wonderful. It's a wonderful place for wonderful people.
Our listeners are mostly Redditors. So.
Yeah.
They're mostly Redditors.
We insist.
But yeah, so I'm wrapping that up after 7 years, putting it on a hiatus for a bit, and I'll be doing your 2 drunk aunties with Bron Lewis, which is basically just Bron and I meeting every week over a glass of wine, and just no Canadian clubs allowed in that venue. I'm so sorry. And we have a great time just kind of reading each other bad jokes that we find on the internet. It's just a show that 2 drunk aunties would make and think would be fun. And we think it's a lot of fun. We have a great time.
It
doing
is fun.
It is
I've
fun.
it's fun to be on.
I made
as
you
well.
whiskey sour. when
Yeah, you
were on.
did.
But then the other one, Not Another Crime podcast, is just basically meeting up every single week and having dinner party conversation about a true crime, because a lot of the time you listen to true crime. I love true crime. I'm a big fan of true crime, not the crimes themselves, I have to say that. But just listening to true crime every single week, it can be really daunting, and there's a lot of information. And so we're not joking about the crimes themselves, but we're just having a bit of light-hearted chat out the front. Then it's a dinner party conversation about the crime where we only talk about the crime, and then a bit of fun chat at the end. So, and then we bring guests on to talk about something in a lighter way.
Their favourite crimes.
Their favourite crimes. But yeah, and you have to be barefoot. That is my own lead. I have to go on brand. And so, yeah, it's really a fun podcast that we just started with iHeart.
Yeah.
Really enjoying that. But you guys know you've been I believe the longest podcast in the world.
I think that's
That's
right.
true,
That's
yeah.
actually true.
Yeah.
The-
Crunch some numbers. I got 14.5 again.
The longest running and the only podcast.
The only podcast
Yeah.
in the world.
Feels good.
But yeah, it's a lot of podcasts. I'm podcasting.
James, it
number
doesn't
one,
feel
so-
good.
No, we
Feels
should
bad.
have more money.
Hey.
From Spotify specifically, who don't give us any money.
You don't get any money from
We get
Spotify?
0 money from Spotify. I don't know why.
Not a plug?
No, it
Again,
is.
not
It
a plug.
is. It is.
It is a little bit.
And then they had the absolute fucking audacity. Here I go.
Here we go.
Here
For
we go.
Spotify Wrapped, they reached out and they're like, "Why don't you make a custom video for your listeners who you were up there for whatever their number one
Yeah.
listen?" And I'm like, "Why don't you give me any fucking money and I'll do free promo for you?"
I want
Like,
$2 billion
fucking
today.
unbelievable. Like, and they don't pay anybody. It's not just us.
Yeah, that's
like,
I bet they
wild,
pay
though.
something.
Oh
They
yeah,
pay
like
Rogan.
Joe Rogan, they pay like
Yeah.
Taylor Swift and whatever, and you can get Spotify exclusive deals, but then you got to kind of push all your other platforms aside.
For a second, I was
and
thinking
whatever.
Taylor Swift had a podcast. I was like, what's her podcast? Oh no, she sings.
James, we could get a podcast. We could get a Spotify deal, provided
yeah.
you don't badmouth them.
Yeah,
On a
Yeah.
podcast.
No, I think you can. I don't think they.
Should we get
care.
one? Let's go.
Yeah,
I'll
just
go
out.
out and sell you today.
I mean, you'd be surprised how often they track you down and
that's right.
take a clip of yours and throw it in your face.
mean,
Throw it in your face.
They're all bad though. Like we're on like
Yeah.
Google's bad. Like I'm not saying Apple's bad. I'm not saying anything.
iHeart's bad. I'll say it.
One of the worst.
All right, big
Criminals.
dogs, listen to this.
Wow.
But anyway,
We can't talk about that. We legally can't talk about that.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, you've got a new comedy show,
Oh.
which I saw last year because you did a couple of trial
I
shows.
did, yeah.
Fucking incredible.
Thank you
I'm
so
on the
much.
poster.
You're on the poster.
Yeah.
I've got a great quote from Mr. Sunday Movies.
Oh,
I haven't
here we
learned
go.
his full name just yet, his real name. But it is a show. So I stopped doing stand-up. I blacked out on stage at a venue called Lucky Cock
Drunk.
in Melbourne, which was
Famously a bad venue.
Famously a bad venue, and I found out on stage I had a heart condition.
Mm.
I blacked out on stage. So the show is basically, it's called Why the Long Face. It's about me returning to stand up. So I had 6 years off, and then I was like, I've written a 1 hour show. I just wrote a 1 hour show. And I was like, what do I do? How do I do it? I had to go back into the comedy clubs, do it 4 nights a week to try and get back into that, find out what was funny again. Turns out, not a lot of stuff. And I really
Comedy's
had to-
changed. That's not your
Yeah.
fault.
Like, God, you can't say anything anymore these days. But then I really wanted to make a show about my collapse on stage, deciding to return to stand up after a history of working with two of the biggest addicts in Australian comedy.
Mr.
Yeah.
Sunday Movies, Nick Mason.
Mr.
You know
Sunday
it.
Movies and the boys.
Guilty.
the boys. And so the show is about me kind of gravitating towards addictive people from my history of my brother. I grew up with a violent addict brother. And so it's all about kind of my history with addicts. And then I finally got approached when I was kind of leaving comedy to write a book about me growing up with facial palsy called
That's
Why
a
the Long
very
Face.
funny bit as
The
well.
story of a
Yeah.
boy who's trying to make people laugh when he can't even smile himself. That was the
Damn.
full title of the book. And I was like, I think I'm done for now. I think I'm going to walk away.
Can I have some input in this, quite frankly, insulting title? No.
No,
Title
actually
stays.
not, yeah.
The actual contents of the book irrelevant.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can just-
Half his face is smiling. I think you
Yeah.
like it.
God,
yeah.
I'm imagining the cover like it's your face and maybe they paste a fake smile over
Yeah.
it or
Yeah.
something
It's
like
the magazine
Yeah, like it's
smile.
torn and it's like oh
Yeah,
god, I
yeah.
could see
It would have been good stuff.
Now, I went to the very first Lucky Cock show.
Yes, yeah.
Like a decade plus ago. And I remember thinking, wow, nobody at this venue was interested in
Oh,
comedy.
no.
This is awful. Like, what a slog for everybody
What is
involved.
it?
It was
And
awful.
apparently, I've never been back, but it never got
It was
any
never
better.
good.
Is it like a bar first?
It is a bar. It's called Lucky Cock. The bar is called Lucky Cock.
Yeah.
And basically what it is, it's a $4 pizza night for uni
okay.
students. And it's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night. It doesn't exist anymore as a comedy night. Wonder why. Wasn't a success. They made too much money. They had to close it down. But a comedian would go up at 9 p.m. So like even late for a comedy night.
Yeah.
And they would tap on the microphone and say, comedy's about to start in 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. And you would see stressed faces trying to eat as much pizza as they could to leave.
Yeah.
And mostly your job as a performer was just going, stay.
Yeah.
Order more
you would-
pizzas.
Yeah, order more pizzas. You were trying to get people to stay, and it was so depressing. And so when I had a heart attack on stage, I got so many messages from people just going, I'm not surprised. Like, if you're going to have a heart attack anywhere, Lucky Cock would be the place to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing it after that, and it was 6 years of just not doing it. And just also not wanting to get up at places like that. Like,
Of
yeah,
course.
that was the hard thing
Why
about
would you
going
subject
back.
yourself to
Well, that was the thing. It was
It's
like-
comedy's hard enough. I'd imagine. I don't fucking know.
But
But
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But also, like, going back, like, when I finally was like, I'm going to go back, I'm going to do it 4 nights a week, I was like, oh, bad comedy venues still exist.
Yeah,
Like that you only go to the ones like Comedy Republic and you only go to all the ones that you really like because you're guaranteed a good night. But there are ones when you're guaranteed a terrible night.
That's a good point because I normally just go to Comedy Republic.
Yeah,
and sometimes
yeah.
I'm on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great. Everyone's having a great time.
Everyone's having
Everyone's
a good
here
time.
for me specifically. This is really good.
Everyone's there to have a good time. And
They know what, I mean, because you get your drinks and you come upstairs and then you're in a very comedy specific room, right?
Yeah, and it's just you're pointed in the direction for comedy. But Lucky Cock, it was like people were facing with their backs against the wall. Like it was a hard sell already. And then I was like really nervous that night. And then it was just like, oh my God, it's going to get someone. I had a friend coming who had never seen me before. That always seems to happen in comedy where it's like someone's never seen you do it before and they come on the night that it's going to be the worst.
And then afterwards they're like, do you always do that?
Yeah, do you always back out on
Always
something?
so hard to say.
Is that your thing now?
Yes.
Well, yeah, actually, yes, it is. So my show is all about that. Like it's all about coming back. And you saw it, last year when I was kind of doing trials. I did 2 nights.
I know I said this before and it sounds like an insult. I sort of preface it by
But
that.
you're dumb.
Yeah, I took a friend of mine who's a teacher I went to school with, and he didn't know anything about it or you.
Yeah,
Which again
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like an insult. Didn't even care.
Didn't even care.
But he
didn't even want to be there.
He loved it. Like I think it was like it's my friend Joe. You know Joe.
I know Joe.
It was incredible. Like I had such a good time.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I was also like I was nervous because I'd never seen you do stand up.
Yeah.
So like you want it to be good.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
you don't want to come out after and go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it's-
avoid eye contact and run.
I think this run you're going to have in the Melbourne Comedy Festival and beyond that, I think it's going to be incredible.
Oh,
Like,
thank you so
really,
much.
yeah.
Well, I'm very excited about it, and it starts at time of recording. It starts very soon.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing a show with Dave Warnicky called Dave Warnicky Dates the Entire Audience from Do Go On fame.
Isn't he married?
He's a married man, but he's still dating the audience, just legally not allowed to.
Don't tell his wife.
Yeah, that's right. But it's a really interactive show. And we did it 10 years ago, and now it's a 10-year reunion of us doing that and getting back out there in the dating game.
Folks, don't be afraid of audience interaction.
Don't be afraid of it.
Just don't lie to the comedian. 'cause
Don't
they'll
lie.
know. Don't hesitate.
They'll
Don't
know.
lie.
Don't
They
hesitate,
know.
Don't lie. Yeah. They know. Yeah, they've got a lie detector hooked up to every audience member. Mason knows this very well.
Awesome. Well, that's all linked below. People want to check it out. They should. And you're going to take it you've had to take it other places.
I'm going to take it other places. I've already been to Adelaide, but I'm going to be going to Sydney, Perth, Brisbane, Hobart, Canberra. I'll be going to all the goddamn places.
Fantastic.
Australia's capital. I love it.
You're Sammy P official on
Sammy
Instagram?
Petersen, unofficial.
Unofficial.
It's a funny joke.
That is a good joke. I
Thank
reckon.
you for saying that.
I could see how and why you got into comedy. That's good.
when you got great stuff like that constantly coming out.
And the last goal achieved. Funny name on
Tick.
Instagram. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night, Australia. I'll have a little nap after that.
Oh yeah, the top two posts are your
It's
two
my
shows
show.
that you're doing. Yeah.
You know what? And you can come to them if you want. If you want to pay, you can come. You know what? I insist on that. If you want to pay, you can come. That's my deal. That's my competition that I run. If you want to pay, come.
I think it's good.
It's a good competition.
Yeah. You'll always win. Severance season 2 was wrapped
right.
after a 3-year wait. Do you know about this, guys? Do you know about this?
I know about rapping.
Yeah. And here we go.
I've heard about it. I've just wrapped the podcast. Oh, sorry. Severance.
No, let's not. Let's
All
not.
right. All right. Well, I gave
There's
it a
some
go.
places this podcast isn't allowed to go, and I think 3 extremely white guys rapping is not.
Do you remember when
that's
I did a
interesting.
rap as a joke and I nearly took it out because I was so embarrassed?
Yeah, I
Even
did.
though it was
So
clear. It was
funny.
supposed to be an embarrassing
Yeah.
rap.
And then it went
yeah.
viral.
And then it went viral.
Oh
because
my
of how good
God.
the rap was.
And that's all
'Cause
people know of me.
Kendrick put it in a song.
I think about that. And even, again, intentionally bad,
Yeah.
but it still makes me upset.
Well, Louis Theroux kind of had this resurgence, which was so weird when he did that rap, and then suddenly it was on the internet, online, HTTPS or whatever, and it became huge again because of an interview he did, and then it doesn't jiggle jiggle, it folds. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds.
Nice.
And it went viral, and it was like suddenly people going, "Who is this Louis Theroux guy? He seems all right."
And he is.
And he is all right.
Yeah, he's all right. So they started filming this season in October of 2022.
Okay.
They got through 7 episodes and also, because pandemic related, et cetera, they pushed it back.
I don't know what that is, but
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not
don't
sure
worry about it. And then there was the writer's strike. And so they paused for a bit longer and then they had to pick it up and finish the episodes and then do reshoots. So this has been a long time coming.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't drop off the face of the planet completely because I feel
Yeah.
like when there's a gap this long, often people will just go, what What's that show? It's not Poker Face. Who's the woman from Poker Face?
Oh, Natasha Lyonne?
Yeah, she did a Netflix show.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce
That's
her name.
right.
I went Leon really confidently.
She's from the bio.
What was that one?
From
that
Russian Doll?
Yeah, Russian Doll.
Yeah.
Incredible first
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
It was huge. Everyone was talking about it. It was like bigger than
Ben-Hur.
It was bigger than Ben-Hur.
That's right.
Let's make that up.
Bigger than the Great Australian Bite.
I don't agree with that. Pop your manners back in. I don't agree with that.
And then it came back.
Yeah.
And they dumped every episode at once, and I didn't watch it.
And it was a
didn't
different
watch
time
it.
travel mechanic, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I wanted to talk about that as well. So that would suggest, in terms of Severance, that they were writing and filming at the same time.
I don't know about that.
Right.
I think they mostly got ahead of it.
All right.
Is it Ben Stiller being a driving force that it didn't get cancelled?
I think so,
something like that.
potentially,
Like,
yeah.
Because he loves it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when you hear him talk about it, he's so passionate about it.
Because he didn't create it.
No.
It was
Although, but people, if you read the internet, and I do,
Yeah,
it feels like the narrative
It
is like
does.
he's definitely the driving force.
Yeah.
But he didn't pitch the original show.
I should
I
find the
love
name.
that he...
of the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually.
I
yeah.
love that he directs it. I think I don't know. There's something about it because I mean, I'm a big fan.
Dan Erickson.
Dan Erickson. I'm a big fan of Ben Stiller, but I love that he directed The Cable Guy.
Yep.
Such a long time ago, and it is such a dark
People
film.
hated the Cable Guy when it came
Yeah,
out.
it's such a dark film though, and
Yeah.
when you watch Severance, I remember some people kind of going, "Oh, isn't this weird that Ben Stiller's directing this?" You go,
No,
"No,
really.
like when you actually watch a lot of Ben Stiller's stuff, like there's something about Mary,
Yeah.
but when you watch some of his stuff, you do go, he has got a really weird dark comedy look.
Reality
to it all.
Bites.
Reality
Probably.
Bites,
Tropic
probably,
Thunder.
probably as well. Tropic Thunder,
Zoolander
as well.
2.
Zoolander 2. Not
We all
one.
saw that, didn't we?
I didn't see
God.
one, but I'd love to. Well, I heard a really interesting interview with Ben Stiller talking about how depressed he got after Zoolander.
It's
too.
very
like,
bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's like shocked me.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
like he's great.
Coming to America too shocked me in that way as well.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I liked it. I liked it more than Zoolander
Yeah.
too, but I didn't like it. I was like, oh, this is a misstep. I feel.
This is upsetting.
Yeah, this is a little.
Oh, they're
bit
back at
upsetting.
the barber shop, are
Yeah.
they? Okay.
Yeah. Wait, is he going to do all of the characters again? Yes, he is. He commits half to every character.
Boy, does he. So, yeah, I think he's great. I think he's, he's got a very, he did come from, I was going to say wealth.
Yeah.
He's got an
His dad's Jerry
Yeah.
Stiller.
Yeah, his dad's
And he's making a documentary about that, which
Oh,
will be
okay.
fascinating.
Yeah. I
I'm
think-
just here. So I spoke to Ben just before this. I've got all Ben Stiller news, weirdly.
But I think, I really don't have a problem with, anybody coming up through the industry because, it's absolutely fine, especially when he's, he is fostering like creative people. And
Yeah.
maybe I've heard also he's difficult to work with or whatever. I don't know.
You've always
When
called
you
him
know
a Nepo baby. I know him. I just spoke to him. He said he's not a Nepo baby.
And he's not difficult to work
And he's
with.
not difficult to work with. Tell him that. And he said push you a little bit, which I have done.
But yeah, I don't know. I think also this show works because it built week to week. I think when it came back, people were very excited.
Yes,
But then
yeah.
obviously, because as we just talked about, 2 million subscribers came on board because
Yeah.
it's that week to week model which gets
Yeah.
people
Because
coming back.
Sammy, you and I, we just subscribed to Apple TV to watch this.
Yeah, yeah.
So everybody else
Fake
had to
fans.
wait 3 years. How long
Yeah,
did it
3
have
years,
to?
yeah.
So everybody else had to wait 3 years between the cliffhanger of season 1
yeah.
and this, and I wouldn't have been able to handle it.
No. My nerves wouldn't have settled
That's
that
right.
whole time.
I was definitely coming back to this. I'm like, what's happening?
Yes.
Like
it's so confusing.
it's confusing even if I'd imagine
Watch it episode to episode.
when you've got the flu, right?
Yeah, when you've
Which
got the
is what
flu.
you did.
I did have the flu last week when I watched it.
But yeah, you really have to. It's one of those shows where you actually have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Which is a mean thing to say.
Yeah.
I guess.
But it is good. Like, I don't know if this episodic stuff where they bring it out. Because I thought for a long time, especially when we were in the pandemic, as you said before, I didn't say that.
You did say that, James.
Your
You
words,
did
not
say that.
mine.
Yeah.
Just before I pushed you.
I just want to direct you to this Joe Rogan podcast and not playing behind me.
I've got a clip of this. Can I show just look at a clip that no one else can see for ages? But I wondered if this sort of the way of releasing one episode a week, like White Lotus, and
Yeah.
if that was on its way out because people just want it instantly, and that's what Netflix has done for so long. They just drop it all like Squid Game.
Yeah.
I kind of like that this has
Same.
come back a little bit.
And I think it is the wiser choice because people then talk about one episode a week.
Yeah.
And they can have their fan theories and they
Yeah.
can discuss it and they can make little gifs and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas with the the binge model, the dump it all at once, people talk about it for a week if they do at all.
Yeah, and
if
it's
they even
done.
notice it's there.
Yeah.
And especially with, the week to week, you open up the app and it goes new episode of the thing every week. Whereas with the other model, it's just like it's there.
Yeah.
And
then you forget about it.
You didn't if you missed it, if you didn't turn on Netflix or whatever that day, it just gets buried in the algorithm and you never see it.
I like that when it's a comedian I don't like. It comes up and it's like, you like Joe Rogan's friend or whoever it is. And I'm like, I really don't. And then the next day it's just gone.
Completely gone. You'll never see them again.
Yeah, just a guy who got like $20 million to be like, what is even going on, You
can't even say anything for $20 million anymore on Netflix.
So
you can't
boring.
even do it.
In a really public forum all the time.
I think Succession is a really good example of this because this came out the same time as Russian Doll, and Russian Doll did better, but every season it built, and it built week to week, and people make memes and have theories and whatever.
Bad theories.
Or gifts, like you said.
Gifts.
Yeah. Oh, we should talk about theories because you had a theory that you wanted to share.
We'll do it in spoilers.
Oh, is it? Because I can share my theory because it didn't come true.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I'd love to hear it.
I didn't ever really think this was it, but
Everybody's soul's in the goat.
Yeah, everyone's. I want to talk about the soul goat
It's
theory.
all about goats.
Yeah.
The whole thing was about
It was
goats.
a lot about
It's the
goats.
greatest of all time. I'm looking at one right now.
Should we talk about the premise, or does everybody know Severance?
Oh, yeah, let's do that one.
I mean, so the premise, of course, is that there's a company. It's an alternate reality.
Yep.
It's
called Loomis.
Yes.
Not that far from reality. Am I right?
That's
Oh,
so true,
God, you're so
isn't
right,
it? It's
you're so
almost
right.
like real.
Looking into a
work.
Black Mirror, am I right? Oh,
So
my
true.
God.
But a company called Lumen has invented a
Lumen.
process
I
called
said Loomis.
Yeah.
I did have the flu.
They've invented a process called Severance, and so for their most top secret projects that they're working on, their employees have a chip implanted in their brain. So when they go to work, they can't remember that their work selves can't remember anything that happens in their real life,
And they're called the outie.
That's right. And their real life selves can't remember anything that happens at work.
Yep.
And when I went into, I heard that premise. I'm like, this is a great premise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I went into the first season, and I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna touch on the idea that they've created a separate person on the inside, and that person doesn't have a real life. And I wonder if that affects them in any way. I wonder if that's going to come up at all.
Yeah.
Every episode.
Yeah.
Every episode
Actually,
for
you'll
years.
find out every episode.
Every episode for years.
What I find really interesting as well is the model of that, severing yourself and going into work every day. You go into the lift, and that's when you become what's severed, or you however they say it. But what's really interesting to me as well is they obviously go to work for this company. So, one of them was a history teacher before, and they've got all these big backgrounds, these big backstories. And, Adam Scott's character, Mark, his wife, Gemma, supposedly passed away in a car crash, and that's his story, and he couldn't deal with that, and then he goes and his life isn't livable on the outside as an outie. What I found really interesting was, you get severed and everything. What if you're a terrible worker?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do after that? They go, we don't really want him to work for us because he's not really doing the job that he doesn't know
all
what
his
it is.
spreadsheets have a bunch of errors in them.
Yeah,
He doesn't
look
know
at
how
these
to
numbers.
He doesn't know how to do the columns in the spreadsheet.
Because looking at that, I was thinking, do you even have to be good at
I don't
this?
know.
Like, I'm still kind of unclear about how that job, and this is more spoilers,
Yep.
specifically works. Like, are they looking for a certain type of person who's like got an emotional kind of
Yeah.
I mean, I think for
connection?
Mark specifically, and we'll get into this in spoilers. I think Mark specifically has a particular role to play in this. But I think for a lot of people, maybe it's just like you agree to get severed, and they put you in whatever department. They're like, oh, he's good at playing the trombone. We'll put him in the marching band department. And you have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, the acting is so great in it. Like, it's so well done. But there are moments when you kind of go, like, if you do have a moment when you go, let's go back to reality for a second. What is this? What is the need to do it? And I think they do it in a really good way, where it's like, oh, there is a need to do it because their lives as an outie, they're not as, I guess, they don't want to live that life. So it's like, well, let's go into this world. You do wonder the mechanics of it, like what's the pay like? What's it like? I was kind of going, do they have? They obviously don't have annual leave because what happens? They don't want to be outside. And what I found really funny was there's one scene of the guy, I can't remember his name, but he has the glasses on and the beard, and he's working late.
Dylan. You're talking about Dylan?
Yeah, Dylan. Yeah, and he's working late one day, and I find that just so funny. The idea of him just working late. It's going, But for what? Like are you now avoiding the life that you don't even know about?
Yeah.
But that was really interesting. Him working late doing what?
I guess it's the thing of like, well, the longer I'm here, the more I exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I found just like the aesthetic of it is so upsetting as well. That like, and it's a
green and blue.
And it's a never-ending fluorescent office environment that you basically blink out and then reappear back at work.
Yeah.
Like you never leave.
What I love about
Never
the
leave.
show is that there is a driving narrative, and that's really important.
Yeah.
But also just the general idea. And I wonder if when they started this, they wrote it from the perspective of we're going to do the plot first, or they started from the perspective of sometimes work is just like it's like you never leave work.
Yeah,
It's like you leave work and then there's a blip and then you're back at work, and that's how it feels a lot of the time. Or the idea that you're a different person at work. Sometimes you only reveal 10% of your personality at work, and then you're a different person. When you leave.
That's what we do for podcasting.
Or the idea of
you're 7 before you come in here.
Or the idea of like when you're at work, you have like this band of people that you are strong with, and you kind of that's those you got your work wife and you got all your work friends or whatever. But then as soon as you leave work, you're like, they don't care.
They don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all worked in places where you leave and then you just never see that.
I've never worked at a place where I leave.
Okay.
Yeah. I would never leave.
That's a bad example.
I just stay. Yeah. I found it so fascinating though. Just the concept is so good of the show, and I think it's really well executed. Like it is done. Really
you could kind of rest on that for a while, I feel like, and just drag this out, but they really move it forward.
They really do.
Also, apologies to every listener out there who watched this 2 years ago. And we're just it's funny how you're different at work, isn't it? Like this.
I mean, I watched it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We're not all as cool as I don't know. You know what I thought was interesting? What's his name? The Mark.
Yes.
The actor. What's his name?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. Like I saw an interview where he was talking about how, when I'm playing these two different characters, do I give one a limp? Do they talk differently?
Yes.
And it basically came down
you
to...
went to a house at Dr. House.
Yeah, exactly. Where it was like, no, like it's still you.
Yes.
You've just got to kind of, you've got a different start.
Yeah.
But their personalities are essentially the same, which makes sense. And then there's another character, Hallie, who has, which if you've seen season 1, presumably, I know you guys have.
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen it.
Where her outie person is very different, or lives a very different life from the innie. But I also don't think they're that different, because they both are motivated in similar ways, and they both have this kind of driving
rebellious,
rebellious, but it presents differently because of the situations that they're in. So I think it's interesting that this one doesn't this one has a British accent, and this one they don't do that. It's just like it's the same person with similar motivations. It's just different environment.
Yeah.
Anyway, my pre-theory
on.
was, and I never really thought, I just thought it would be interesting that it wasn't anything. Like the numbers weren't anything. Every room wasn't really anything. It was just this cycle of bureaucracy.
Like Cube.
Like Cube, exactly. I don't know if you've seen the movie Cube.
No, I haven't.
I'm going to spoil the movie Cube.
Yeah.
But they get stuck in this cube. And
Horror movie. There's a giant cube. It's like the biggest a building.
And then you move cube to cube, and each cube has a different trap in it.
Right.
And
it's like Saw, but in a cube.
Yeah.
It's in a cube.
It's cubed.
And you're like, why are they in this cube? What's going on? Why is so much cube? Why is this cube filled with fire and this cube's filled with wires that cut you into bits of lasers or whatever?
Yeah.
But then
But
then it turned out at the end, the reason the cube exists and they're all stuck in the cube is because somebody came up with the idea for a cube. And the money was there to make the cube. So they just built
And so
the
there's
cube.
all these
That makes
different
sense.
departments coming together, and nobody really knew what anybody was doing, and it made this thing, and then they put people in it, but for nothing. And I think
And it's just a cube.
Yeah, it's just a cube that
It's just a
kills you
cube.
Sometimes a
sometimes.
cube's just a cube.
And I thought that this was a company that started 150 years before or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it kind of, it all just kind of got lost in the shuffle of what they were doing.
They're just getting money and burning money.
Yeah,
and
who's in charge? Kind of this old guy, but
Yeah,
does it mean anything? Not really. I thought it could have been that. Like
Yeah.
That's
just a
interesting.
cycle of like a bureaucratic nonsense.
Yeah,
It's not that.
No.
Yeah.
But I liked that.
I mean, we
idea.
should probably get into spoilers, but I just wanted to say, like you said, it is an upsetting environment. I think that the industrial design's really good in it.
Yeah.
I think they're using all sorts of historical, like specific furniture and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But what I was going to say is that I think the performance is just universally excellent,
Yeah.
especially the people you don't think of.
Yeah.
Like the guy who plays Mr. Milchick.
He's
incredible.
amazing.
There's a dance that he does in
Yeah.
the first season that is just incredible.
I'm going to get his name because it's something
Milchick
Trammell.
is great.
Trammell.
You see him in an interview. He's so excited as well.
Trammell Tillman as Mr. Milchick, who takes over in the sort of towards the end of the first season, the second season, as the middle manager. Two things I love about him: he has to straddle the line between because the thing about the classic middle manager is in real life and in this show is that they have to interact with and somehow work with actual working people.
Yes,
but they also have to do the bidding of executives who are completely disconnected from real life.
The board.
And then justify their actions.
He's not severed.
No.
He has to just deal with these people who are not
Yeah,
they're not quite real people because they're on, but they have wants and needs and they need little rewards and all this sort of stuff. And that's what managers have to do in real life. They have these middle managers. They have to be like they have to deal with people who have real world problems at the bottom, and then have to deal with insane people at the top who deal with billions of dollars but have no connection to real life kind of thing. And he has to do a dance.
And he has to do a dance every now and then.
Patricia Arquette is amazing in it as well. Like she plays that role so well where you're very confused about is she severed? Like there's a lot in there that you're going, what? It's a weird role for her to play.
Yeah.
But she
almost
does it.
is severed as well because she's out of it. She's just a completely different
who says she works at the shop. But I was confused whether she was severed or not because there was a little bit of exactly. He had the flu. Yeah, I didn't know what was happening. I was like, is this a TV show? What is this? They're in the living room right now. I don't want to be severed like this. But this man's dancing again. I like this.
Should we do some spoilers?
Let's do some spoilers. So, how should we get in this? Spoilers for season 1?
We could go person to person.
Yeah, right.
Or we could do your theory. What was your theory?
So my theory was, my assumption was by the end of this season they would explain exactly what was happening, and they have explained to some degree some of it. My theory is about Lumen's overall goal in the world.
Yeah.
So of course at the end of season 1, Mark learns that his wife Gemma, who he assumed had died in a car crash, was in fact working in Lumen as a number of things. So we learn that she is Miss Casey, who's like the corporate wellness officer.
Yeah, she's kind of like a bit of an auditor as well because she watches people a bit.
But in the second season, we learn that she is not just Miss Casey. She has been severed 25 times.
Yeah.
And she has been given different roles.
Yeah.
And they're testing to see how well she will do in various traumatic situations.
And whether that barrier will break over into other personalities. Yeah.
To the point where at one point they are testing her like her reaction to a real traumatic experience that happened to her in her life. So her and Mark wanted to have a baby, it didn't work out, and then she had to in real life they had to disassemble the crib that they built in their house because the baby wasn't coming. And so in this second season they're like, let's give her that job in her severed life to see if she will emotionally react to that, if she'll remember. And she doesn't.
No.
So,
and also, will she remember Mark as well? Like, will she remember? Which is really bizarre as well. Like,
towards the end of the first season, Helly, when she escapes, when her Innie escapes into the real world briefly, someone in that inner circle of Lumen says that they're looking forward to a future where everybody is severed. Yeah. And so my theory is that their goal, because they're not just a corporation in it for the money, but they've got this weird cult vibe to it, is that they want to sever everybody in the world.
Yeah.
So the idea is that they're in the future they want to restructure society so that everybody gets severed probably when they're a child. And so everybody in the world has an innie and an outie, and the outie gets to experience kind of like an intellectual life free of worries and what have you.
Yeah.
And their innie just experiences like work-based hell forever.
And he's almost a separate person.
I think the goal ultimately is that the outie doesn't even remember that the innie exists.
Yeah.
And vice versa, because you can never, like if your entire life is work and you never remember that there was ever anything else.
Yeah.
Or that there is another version of you that you would just be like... Because and the goal for a lot of this stuff seems to be they're testing the entire sort of range of human endeavor downstairs to see what you can do while you're severed and what little treats and things you need to keep going in that way. You get a little pizza party or what have you.
Yeah.
And so the idea would be like it's a society where all the outies never experience any work or anything, any discomfort of any kind, and then the innies are just like, it sucks.
It sucks.
But they don't know.
But they don't know, and also like because in this world, it seems like according to the inner circle of Lumen, the outies are kind of should be rewarded.
Yeah,
but the innies aren't real people.
Yeah.
So they get the punishment of life.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
That was the horrible bit in the first season when is that Hallie the name? Yeah. When she tries to escape that first time and he's looking and then it's just a video of her as Yadi going, no, I denied your request to
Yeah.
I don't
quit.
care.
Yeah, I don't
you're
care.
not real.
And so that is such the juxtaposition between those two characters as well is so huge because you go, oh, but all you want to do and you're emotionally responding to this.
Yeah.
And then when she tries to kill herself in the lift, that is such a full-on scene. And I did wonder what would happen if she actually did kill herself because, the reason she's trying to kill herself is so that she'll punish
the upstairs,
the upstairs one. But it's so bizarre because you go, what if she did actually go through with it? Because, you've got someone like, Gemma who supposedly died in the real world. So it is really weird to think about that as well, which is something that I think won't get explained properly until season 3.
Yeah. So if we've talked about Mark and Gemma, so Hellie's story, of course, is that she's the new hire. She doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
She's the rebellious one. But then the reveal, of course, is in season 1. She is not just a regular person who's come to work. She is Helena Egan. She is in the inner circle of the Lumen company. She is the daughter of the current CEO.
Yeah.
And she's gone in to sort of show people as a PR exercise that, this is my sister.
Even
now.
I'll do it.
Even I'll do it. And it's actually great to, what have you. I think this, one of the great parts about season 2, which I really loved, is that one of the big reveals of season 2 is that Helly, she tries to kill herself in the lift. Thank you. Lighten the mood. I like that. That was good.
Yeah,
you came in just at the right time.
Thank you so much.
But then when she comes back in season 2, we all assume it's Helly downstairs in the.
I was always suspicious.
Well, here's the thing as well. What I think was the great part about that in the reveal.
I'm so clever.
The reveal, of course,
You're a
is
clever guy.
when they go on the outdoors excursion. Irving, who we haven't talked about yet, he twigs that it's actually Helena Egan the whole time. She hasn't been turned into her when she goes downstairs.
Yeah.
It's been her the whole time. And what I loved about that is there's a bunch of clues that it's not who it is, but you could, and I noticed all the clues, but you could explain them.
Yes.
So there's a moment when they all come back to work at the start of season 2, and everybody comes in and switches their computer on, and she can't find the switch to switch on her computer. And I'm like, well, the last time she was here, she hung herself.
Yeah,
like clearly
yeah.
she's having a tough time. I didn't twig that it was because it's a different person.
Yeah.
And there's a moment when they go on the excursion where Helly says, "I don't like who I am on the outside," and I was like,
she saw the video, but
but I'm like, oh,
But how did she know?
Yeah, but I'm not like, because she saw the video and she saw who she is related to on the outside.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But actually, that was Helena saying, I don't like who I am on the outside.
I like
this
I don't
and
like
you and
I like the fact that this is a nicer environment.
Yeah.
It's so sterile and and neat and
But there was a bunch of clues, and I'm like, oh, okay. But the writing was so good that I'm like, yeah.
I don't think the writing was that good.
Yes.
You didn't like the writing.
Well, I was going to say, here's
that.
the thing. So there's a moment in sort of to the end of season 1 throughout season 2, Mark gets reintegrated. He meets the doctor who can attempt to reintegrate his two halves of his personality. Did you feel that was dropped?
Yeah, I think they'll come back to it.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think anything is a mistake in it. Like, I feel like they don't mention anything unless it's going to come back.
I think it was dropped for the point of getting, doing this finale where he has to work with himself to rescue his wife, and also the idea of having a conversation with himself.
Yeah,
I thought was really interesting, and how it starts all like, and he was kind of he's almost lying to himself. It was like, I did this for you because I want. Because I'm sorry that I did this to you, but I don't think ultimately he cares. I think he wants to get his wife back, and he'll say whatever he needs to say to get her out of that. But I also don't really necessarily believe that he would, because there's the promise that he's going to reintegrate that personality into himself. And I don't know whether he would do that, or even if he did do it, like he's in his right in the sense of, well, I'm like maybe 10% of your personality. I've only been alive 2 years.
Yeah,
And what?
yeah.
And the person that I love, you're like, what? How is that going to work? It's not. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think
thought that was so
the
interesting.
only real option is you have an any room in your house,
Yep.
and you know.
A kissing room.
Yeah,
Kissing
sure,
room.
absolutely.
It's a kissing
yeah.
booth room.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
Well, I thought Dylan's story was really interesting as well, where he's like more dynamic on the inside than, and his wife likes him more. It's like, this is
Right.
an ideal version of,
Yeah, right.
of you in here in this stale environment. I thought that was amazing. What was I going to say? So yeah, amazing finale. I mean, they're doing action sequences, like there's fight scenes and there's a murder.
God. The marching band.
The marching band was crazy. I love how all their rewards are terrible.
Oh, they're terrible. It's the dance party in the first season is
Yeah.
bizarre, and then the marching band, it's wild.
But again, that's work.
Yeah.
work, that's the
any kind
culture.
of corporate environment where it's like, our lawyers are working 80 hours a week.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
what if we put in a pool table?
Yeah.
I guess.
Or in a beanbag.
During work hours.
Yeah.
But then also you look at like who's running the company, like you meet Hallie's dad, and there's a moment I remember like, because he's so strange, and then when the Innie meets him, she's like, "You're so weird."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he fucking is
He
weird.
is weird,
So
yeah.
like that is
But in the corporate environment, you can't tell the
No.
boss.
No.
You can't go, you're really weird, actually, because you'll get fired.
but you could see like where he would be like, yeah, marching bands.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
like
Yeah.
like a strange guy would
Yeah.
think this is what a normal person
Yeah, yeah.
likes.
And also, it is really interesting seeing the people who hate, the people that are protesting against people being severed on the outside as well, which is an interesting thing more in season 1, where it's just like, it's so strange that that's also a thing that is glossed over a little bit, but I
Yeah.
feel like that might be a bigger part as
Yes.
well. Like them taking over, obviously,
Yeah.
will be a huge part of season 3 as well.
There's that news article at the start of the season 2 where they're told that they're these heroes of the outside world and
Yeah.
they've made all these great advancents for
And they sort of
seven
seamlessly
people.
integrate that into Lumen PR, and they get
Yeah.
the little,
Yeah.
they turn every protest into, well, actually, you made some good points, and
Yeah, yeah.
we'll give you a new little booth
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a new little pool table.
Yeah.
What if we
Yeah.
give you a pool table like that? Yeah.
I love how like they took him on that to that outdoor environment and they're like, this is the biggest waterfall in the world. Like it's like
How would you know?
Why do you even
You just
why
believe
even
that.
say that? Like it's
Yeah.
such a weird thing to tell somebody.
Yeah.
I love all of that. There's a love story, Christopher Walken and
Yeah.
And John Turturro.
I wouldn't say that was my favorite story. I feel
No.
like that kind of
But there is something out where you're like, the fact that he's a painter on the outside, and
Yeah.
and he just loves the painting, and that's the reason for the in with those two. But it is an odd storyline, isn't it? When they lean in together for the first time, and you realize that they're actually in love.
Yeah.
It does feel like a very strange story that I didn't really expect coming from that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was something. Christopher Walken is so good in it.
Yeah, I
But
feel
he's always the
did they
same
not
sort
have
of-
him enough?
Yeah,
They didn't
Because,
have
like-
him enough, and we didn't get a lot of John Turturro.
No,
towards the
that's what I
end.
mean.
No.
Yeah.
Is that because he was busy with something else? I wonder.
Yeah.
But so he's got his subplot as well. Is that, and again, we didn't get a real resolution to this, but he is communicating with his innie and outie are communicating.
Yep.
And that there's a phone call. To what extent we don't know.
Yeah.
Like Irving on the outside has a list of all the Lumen employees that he seems to be
Yeah.
visiting or keeping track of.
Yeah.
And he can communicate with his innie. I think is it with Semaphore?
Yeah, I didn't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
So because when you go from the outside world to
Yeah.
the innie world, what you do is you go to a locker and you take off all your publicly identifying information.
Yeah.
And you put on your downstairs Lumen lanyard and you put on a Lumen approved watch. That's
Yeah.
the only things you take.
Yeah.
And because Irving's he was in the Navy, I think what he is doing is he is adjusting his watch to different times to indicate.
okay.
Because when you leave the basement, you have your watch on and you take it outside, and then your outie would also get a chance to look at the watch.
Yeah.
So if you notice that your watch is changed to a different time,
You'd eventually pick
yeah,
up
because
on
if you
that,
leave
yeah.
if you leave at 5:15 and then you come out of the elevator and your watch isn't set to 5:15,
Yeah.
that means your innie is trying to tell you something.
They're trying
And
to communicate
Semaphore
with
is
you.
an assortment of flags pointing in different directions
Oh, that's good.
to
mate.
indicate letters.
Oh,
right. So
right,
you could
okay.
do that with watch hands. You could
Yeah.
just move it.
Oh, that's
It would take
interesting.
weeks, if not
Yes.
You also come out of the elevator, put your arms
You
up.
could do
do it
this.
like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
An
yeah.
inflatable man.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
YMCA.
right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the only, and I'm sure
That's
sure
great.
this is deliberate because why would you need a watch downstairs because there's a clock on the wall?
Yeah.
and there's clocks everywhere, so there's no reason you would need one. So they've put this in as a mechanism too.
Yeah.
And that would probably come up in season 3, I think. I mean, it would
Yeah.
take months. Eventually,
Yeah, you could
would
do it,
figure
yeah.
out,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's really interesting. There is something, I don't know, that they do it in a really smart way where you think that a lesser show would have probably just had odd things that don't make sense and don't come back, like the goats and the
Yeah.
like little things like that where you go, you know, there's a department downstairs that don't leave. Like it's just stuff like that you go, oh, like everything's going to come back.
Yeah.
So you have to pay more attention to a show like this.
Yes.
Because I think a lesser show would just have weird things.
Just throwing stuff
for
out
being
there.
weird and quirky.
Sammy, you may
which it
not
could
know
be.
this, but there's some sort of leaked information from Netflix, you know, HQ or what have you, and various places like that, streaming shows, where they've said we need shows where people in the dialogue are saying what they're doing
Yeah, okay.
while it's happening.
Second screen viewing.
Because
right?
most
Yeah,
people
yeah.
aren't paying attention.
Yeah,
They're on their
sure.
phone or whatever.
Yeah.
So you need people to be like, so you're saying I'll go down that corridor and I'll meet the
Yeah.
whoever, you know, so
Yeah,
it's nice
right,
that this
just
show
marks
is
and-
kind of smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get back to that semaphore thing, that makes sense because, like, even though you don't have memories of things that you've done prior, you do have knowledge of the world. So, like,
Everything
you
that
know
is-
states,
yeah.
you know, you
Yeah.
have general
You know, the concept of
understanding.
MILFs.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's
don't
all
we
you
all?
need to know. That's
Yeah.
all you need to know.
But yeah, so apparently there's some supplemental material like letters and etc.
Yeah.
which you can find on the Severance website, I assume, what have you. And apparently, if something's really deeply ingrained in your brain, you retain it
Yeah.
when you're even though
Yeah,
you don't remember
right.
your life. But if otherwise, how would anybody?
You'd wake up and
Yeah,
you'd be
sure,
you'd be
yeah.
You
nothing.
can't speak
Yeah.
or whatever. So like language is in there. So presumably because this got drilled into him in the Navy, he knows what he's
Can do it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really interesting. I like that.
I thought Miss Cobell's story was really interesting, how she created the whole program.
Yeah,
And because
yeah.
it's that cult thing, they were like, well, this is for everybody. What
Yeah.
you've created, we all did this, actually.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was, I mean, I wouldn't say her motivations are like
I'd
pure.
say she's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
think
she's
she
cool. She's a
seems
cool
like,
lady.
I don't think she particularly, like, because the idea was that she tells Mark that if you don't rescue your wife after, you know, she goes into the last room, they'll kill her. And maybe not. Like, what are they just going to shoot her? Like,
Yeah, we discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? But also, there's a moment when in the final episode where Mark rescues Gemma, and the doctor says, "You're going to kill her," and what he's referring to is all the other personalities.
Yeah.
Well, they're the ones he
Yeah.
likes as
Yeah,
well.
I guess that's true. Yeah, like
She's
she's
the worst.
He's the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't like one bit.
Is he the worst, or who's the worst in the show? What about Drummond, the head of security?
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of the worst.
He is kind
No,
of
it's
the
that
worst.
guy. The way
Yeah.
that he's like, no, I meant the dude with his wife.
The doctor.
Because like room to room, he's like pretends they're married and like
Yeah.
every now and then she'll just attack him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's funny. Yeah. What else we got here?
Gwendolyn Christie, I think, is
Oh,
fun. Is
yeah.
the,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the shepherd
Yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah.
And at the end, speaking of Drummond, I'm like, oh, I see where they've cast Gwendolyn Christie.
Yep.
Yes.
They I mean, she's a good actor, but also they needed somebody who could
Who could beat
fight
up this
that
guy.
giant
Yeah.
man in a corridor.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And boy, does she. I loved how that guy went out. Like as
Yeah.
he, he killed him in the elevator because
I didn't notice this before, but there's somebody pointed this out as a clue. There's a moment when I think in a previous season where somebody notes that when Mark transitions from innie to outie, his
Yeah.
grip changes.
Oh.
And so that was a little clue. So that when he changes from innie to outie,
Yeah.
his grip changes and he shoots the guy in the neck.
Oh, that's,
So-
yeah, right.
that's great.
Yeah.
I love that there's so many clues in it as well as it goes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
having the flu, I didn't pick up on all of them.
That's
But
right.
then-
I mean, I watched it week to week, and there were things that I'd always watch the recap because I'm like, what am I looking for
Yeah,
here?
right.
You know, just kind of there's some theories about what's
I love theories.
going on for the future.
I think
Some of
mine's
these,
correct.
yeah,
What?
your-
Yeah, yours
I
is
think your
correct.
theory is really solid. I mean, because
Yeah.
the idea that they're saying that they're doing this so they could stop people experiencing pain, which could lend to like, what you were saying.
I think that is. I think the idea, because again, they're not just a business. They're not doing it to get rich, although obviously they are.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they're like, we want to change. We believe in this thing, and I
Yeah.
think it's a sort of heaven and hell thing.
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
part,
heaven and hell
like
makes
you
sense.
you
yeah.
take the part of you that isn't any good and you
Yep.
punish it.
Yeah.
and that's the part that's doing all the work.
Yeah.
First of all, I think this is just something that I think. I think because it seems like Hallie's innie is preferred by her father, So that's how Mark is going to get out, any Mark, because that personality is the one that
Is most desired.
Yeah.
I guess
Because
we
where
did-
is he going? Because at the
Yeah.
end, there's the big decision of where he has to decide between his
Yeah, we
wife,
didn't
who
talk
he
about
doesn't know,
Yeah.
or staying. And
Yeah.
he stays in the Severance.
Well, he does a favor for his outie because his outie wanted his wife to be free, and
Yeah.
so he
did
frees
it.
her. But then he's like,
I do feel like he made that decision on the spot as well.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
thinking it through.
some
yeah.
people. I mean, there's some theory. I've seen some people go, well, actually, that's Helena in the downstairs, but I don't think.
I think they've even
okay.
come out and said it's not.
Britt
Yeah, right.
Lauer, who plays
They
Helena,
said, "Shut up."
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
shut
it's,
up.
it's not. But it's just like, he's made the call to be like, my outie loves this woman, and
Yeah.
but I think like kind of people people on the internet love to be like, well, this person's to blame. This is the bad person. This is the
I don't
good
think
person,
people on the
whatever.
internet love
But I
that.
think it's the outie Marcus loves this woman.
Yeah,
and so he's like,
yeah.
I'm going to do you. This is what you wanted: is your wife to be out of. This is the most I can do. Is I can get your wife out of trouble.
Yeah.
But then this is my life in here, and I'm going to live that.
Yeah.
So.
For the next 15
Yeah.
minutes or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Like, is the next season going to be kind of like like a siege of the Lumen offices?
I
Where
have
they're,
no idea.
Yeah.
But James, you had more theories.
Oh, well, these aren't all my theories. One is that
You could take them.
Sure, okay, this is mine.
These are my words, not my opinions.
One that is Milchek is a mole. That came out
Oh.
before. I don't think he is.
No, but I think he's going to switch sides.
Yeah, well, there's a
Because middle management got to choose.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's right.
Variety. They spoke to Ben Stiller about season 3, and the kind of how they approached Cobell in this season. They kind of switch her kind of allegiance, and she said it's the same with Milchek. So there's going to be a moment for him where it seems like, what direction is he going to go?
Yeah.
which I think makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really interesting. I think there's a lot that's going to happen with him.
Yeah,
He does it so well as well.
He's so good,
yeah,
isn't
he's
he?
so good.
Also, like, if Cobell hadn't been fired, she would have had to do all the stuff that he does in season 2.
Yeah.
So she would have had to do the dance.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he should have had to do the dance and the marching band.
God, that's good stuff. Another is Hallie is pregnant,
Oh.
which could be the case.
That's interesting.
No dingers in the
No dingers down there.
downstairs.
They've all been
Downstairs.
severed. That's a vasectomy, I believe.
That's right.
Different kind of severance.
And the last one is that Rickon, who's the brother-in-law who wrote the book, he's a goat's outie. This is what people
Okay,
are saying
right.
because apparently he's got goat-like
Go on.
qualities.
Okay, sure.
He likes rock climbing. There's a lot of apparently goat imagery around him. I don't know how that works in terms of how do you put a goat's brain into a man's brain?
Yeah.
Because the idea of being severed isn't that you get into a
It
different
ain't rocket
body.
science, pal.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just change the brain.
Yeah.
So I think that's fun, but
No.
I don't think it's.
We didn't really talk about that, but I love the idea that this guy's like pop psychology book, like the dumbest sort of the
Surface level.
the most
Yeah.
surface level. Like, remember to love yourself and
Yeah.
what have you. Like
Yeah.
That it ended up in the Lumen basement, and then they just
Yeah.
started a revolution based on that.
Yeah.
Because they've never experienced philosophy and self help
Yeah.
before, so they're like, oh, this is deep.
Yeah,
This is
incredible.
so deep.
exactly.
Do some stuff for yourself. That's cool, actually.
So those are some big wild theories. Also, it's not
Yeah.
going to be 3 years. I reckon it'll be probably 2 for the next one.
Do you reckon it's going to be that long?
I think
2
so.
years?
I
Yeah.
think they've started writing it, but they're not close to filming it. And it's so complicated. Like, that opening sequence where he's running through the office, like that took 2 months to film.
Oh, did it really?
Just
right.
that.
Yeah.
And it's so many, like you can see it, there's like the way it's intercut is.
I reckon you just have him run around.
Yeah, just have
Yeah, just have it run around. Just
We're not
edit it
gonna
later.
notice.
Do it in post.
We're all
of
on
it.
our phone, so just have him run back and forth.
Yeah.
Around,
And tell
around,
us he's
around.
doing it as
Yeah,
he's doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm running through this.
I don't know. I'm looking around and I'm confused. Yeah. Anyway, great. It's good to watch a good thing.
I
Isn't
loved
it, though?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week, Sammy, we watched the movie Black Bag. I don't know if you've seen that.
I
We were
haven't,
like,
no.
Yeah, the flu.
It's great.
Oh, the
yeah,
flu.
That's right. Well, get over it first.
Get
of all.
over
Get
it.
over it and grow
Wake
up.
up, grow up.
And
Grow
secondly,
a
you should
pair.
see it because it's a lot of fun. We're just like, what? Isn't it good to watch a good movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at you two guys.
Actually, wow.
Yeah.
Watching something nice for once.
Media's good.
Media is good.
Yeah. So anyway, just you can stick around for the next segment if you want.
Oh,
So
sure.
what we're reading.
Yeah.
But just you've got podcasts.
Oh, I got
and there's
podcasts
so
out the
many
wazoo.
and shows and
Oh,
we
I've
mentioned
got
this
all the
off air, but
shows.
you've some of the guests you've had on.
Oh,
Wonderful
yeah.
guests.
So
I mean,
amazing.
us, first
Yeah.
of all.
Oh,
yeah, you two.
James
Straight
Mr.
up.
Son of Movies, and Nick Mason.
Never
But-
together.
Boys.
No,
Yeah.
That's true.
Never
But-
together, and I won't.
But also even more famous guests,
Oh,
actual famous guests.
Sam Neill, Stephen Tobolowsky, Sarah Snook,
Pauly Shaw.
Paulie Shaw, one of my least favorite guests.
I'm
Pauly
so
Shaw.
glad that 'cause that live show that you did that I did recently, Sarah
Yeah.
Snook was there.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
glad I didn't know that.
Yeah,
because I think
yeah,
I would
yeah,
have just
too much.
frozen up on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though what
Probably
does she
too
care?
much.
She doesn't care.
Oh, she does. Yeah. Oh, she does. She is just like her character in Succession. But yeah, so Sarah Snook, the great Dave Lawson, the actor Stephen
amazing.
Curry, if you're a goddamn Australian icon.
Yeah.
That's Stephen Tobolowsky that I said. Tim Minchin.
Yeah.
John Ronson. Ben Miller. I've had lots of great people on it. And
How you
Ed
getting-
Begley Jr.
How you getting these people? Sammy?
Hustling?
How you getting them?
Well, yeah,
You grinding, you hustling?
It's a non-stop hustle. I'll be real with you too. I'm going to talk if I just chop it up for a bit. It's a hustle. It's grind. It's day-to-day life.
Yeah,
I can't
so true, isn't it?
I can't be any clearer than that. No, it's just reaching out when I know that someone's bringing out something is a good idea. So I don't have to
that's
publicise
good
something.
stuff.
But sometimes you do get contacted by publicists that just want
Yeah, we
them
do.
to get there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you do, actually. You actually would. But there are people that do come on that sometimes, and I did this early days where it was just someone that just wanted to publicize their thing. And then as soon as I started doing confessions, they're a bit like, oh, no.
Oh, I didn't
I'm
know there was-
tapping out of this. I didn't
I
know
didn't know there was a
this.
thing attached to
I didn't
this.
know that this was going to be what
So
it
they
was.
you'd start the show.
I would
and they
start the
tap
show
out.
and they would, I'd do the interview bit at the start and they'd tell me all about their things and tell great stories and everything.
Right.
And that's because it's kind of see their face fall a little bit. When I was like,
damn.
confession 1. And I go, oh, what? I don't know about this. Yeah,
That-
excuse me.
that implies
Beg
there's
your
more than
pardon.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know about this. I better strap in. But yeah, so lots of wonderful guests over the years.
People
Just
have also
bloody
been on this show. Have been
Oh,
on it.
so many
Obviously,
goddamn
Bron Lewis,
people.
all of do go on at different.
Bron
I'm
Lewis,
often on
all-
with Jess Perkins.
Yeah, the wonderful Jess
The
Perkins.
best.
The
Yeah.
often on with her.
yeah.
And even though your rivalry continues, off for
hate her.
Yeah.
I mean, you
hate
get
her.
it though, don't you?
Oh, I get it. I totally get it. I agree with you.
Awesome. Anyway, we're up to the next segment, aren't we?
It's called What We're Reading.
What?
What we're going to read.
What?
We're going to read.
I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? This is a segment of the show where we talk about things we've been watching, reading, listening, or doing.
That's right.
That's right.
The guest always goes first, isn't that right?
That's not true, necessarily.
Always.
But this one's champing at the bit to go first, I
Oh,
think.
I'm champing over here. Come
champing.
on, let me champ.
It's
if you could
over
stop
here.
champing for a minute.
Stop champing,
I'm
for God's sake.
champing.
God. James, let's not have him on next time.
I agree.
There's too much champing.
Too much
Champing.
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 Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
I have been reading So You've Been Publicly Shamed
John
by John Ronson,
John
the
Ronson.
wonderful John Ronson. And it is all about people on social media now just getting cancelled for it's not a you can't say anything anymore kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But it is a
So true, though.
He kind of talks about people who get cancelled or lynched online as kind of the new like people going for witches, the new witch
Yeah,
hunt,
right,
Yes.
because it's people who have done one thing, like they've put a hey, that was nice actually, I like that. It's my new team. Can I have that?
Yeah.
It's a thing about like someone who puts out a tweet and then they
Famously, there was a woman, she put out a tweet and then she went on a plane.
they went on a plane.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's how the
Africa,
book
yeah.
starts. It starts
Yeah.
with this
Oh, right,
woman
okay.
that says,
Something
I'm-
offensive.
Something very offensive. I won't say what it was, but
Yeah.
she just puts out this tweet. She's got not many followers, and then she gets on a plane, and by the time she lands in Africa, I think London to Africa, her whole career has changed. Like
Yeah.
she's been fired, everything's changed in her life. I think her partner broke up with
Yeah.
her.
Oh, wow.
Like everything,
Yeah.
her phone just blows up when she lands, and she just becomes a headline. Like now she's like, oh, I can't get a job again. I can't. And John Ronson takes this really because his things, like the things that he does, are very strange. He looks at very odd things. He's kind of like I always call him a weird Louis Theroux, like an even
Yeah.
weirder Louis Theroux. Like he finds a very strange in, and he's very compassionate to the people that he talks about.
Yeah.
To get more of a scoop, I guess. But he also wrote the psychopath test.
I saw his TED talk on.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. But the So You've Been Publicly Shamed is what I'm reading at the moment, and I am bloody loving it.
Are you looking to get shamed publicly?
I'm
Is that
looking to get shamed publicly.
Get ahead of it.
Just right. I want to get really popular online by just saying something really awful. Just one really
that's
awful
the goal,
thing.
isn't it?
That is the goal for everybody.
There's got to be a way to do that. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
You got to thread that needle of
Yeah,
saying
that's
something
right.
very offensive.
You simply must.
what I think about it's fascinating about getting cancelled for something? I think it only really like some people try to do it. They'll try to say purposefully inflammatory things, and that becomes like their career. So they don't get cancelled because they're just doing that all the time. But then someone just makes an offhand comment that they don't think is anything, and then
Yeah.
it becomes this
Yeah.
worldwide story within a matter of hours.
It
Yeah,
breaks
yeah.
containment. In
Yeah.
years past, if somebody had an off-color thing to say, they'd just say it to their friend at the pub.
Yeah.
And we'd all laugh.
Yeah.
and we all
and then
have a good
and you're also
chuckle.
cancelled. We're not your friend anymore. Yeah.
Your pub cancelled. Sorry.
Yeah.
You have to go into the stinky bit of the pub near the toilets.
Sit there and think about what you've done.
But now it gets retweeted to it gets out of containment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone has a voice as well. So there's lots of people just going on and on and on, and we'll and then they'll get over it really quickly as well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They get over
Bean
it.
Dad. Remember Bean Dad?
I remember Bean.
What was
Dad.
Bean Dad?
What did he
It was
made fun
Bean-
of his daughter for
She couldn't open a can of beans.
Oh, right.
He's like
And-
kids these days.
And it was like, to speak to that thing you said, oftentimes it's like people making assumptions based on what you said that have nothing to do with what you did say.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, this man actually let his child starve.
Maybe he should
and
have
she
taught his
died.
daughter how to open a can of
Yeah,
beans. or
but I
whatever.
mean, I think
Yeah.
that was his fault because he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not even. She was like, I'm hungry, Dad. I want something for your dinner. And
I want
she's like,
beans.
well, figure out how to open this can of beans. He wasn't like, oh, you don't know how to open a can of beans. I'll show you kids
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, I'm not going to help you until you.
Oh, wow.
Until
You
you
started.
Till you
Yeah.
apologize.
You apologize to the world. There was Bean Dad, and there was the guy
Milkshake
that,
Duck.
Milkshake
Milkshake
Duck.
Duck, of
There was the guy
course,
that
yeah.
found. There was the guy that found shrimp in his cereal. Do you remember that?
No,
the
I
guy
don't
that found
remember
shrimp
that.
in his cereal.
Oh, dried shrimp tails or something? Was that one?
Yeah. And he got cancelled for some reason. I can't remember.
Because of that or a different thing?
Might have been a different thing.
Damn.
Also, he was
Be funny
married
if he
to a
got
former
cancelled over
sitcom
that.
star.
Damn.
there's a whole
You got cancelled
stuff
for
going
that?
on.
Yeah, he's got cancelled for that.
He was married to Roseanne.
Yeah.
Damn.
And Fred Drescher.
Damn.
But that is what I'm reading at the moment.
Good
I'm
book
loving
then.
it.
That's
Oh,
great.
great book.
And
I
good
love
friend of
it, man.
yours.
Great friend of mine. One of
Yeah.
the best. One of my best friends.
One of your best
It's just
friends.
fun to call people best friend that you've met twice. He's my best friend.
Did you read that in advance of speaking to John Ronson? or
No,
did
I
you-
didn't.
Okay.
And I
his
read the
latest
psychopath
book?
test.
No, that's quite a long time.
No, not Psychopath, but is this his latest book? So You've Been cancelled?
No, that was-
something?
No, it's
Quite a
been
while
publicly
ago.
Oh,
shared.
so you were saying that.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying a different thing.
Hey,
Well, that was
Just
quite
listen.
a long time ago.
hey, listen with your ears.
Hey, just listen. Yeah.
Hey, just listen.
Thank you, Sammy. Finally.
Someone said
I've been
it.
trying
I
to
don't
get
like
through
this.
guys.
I don't like
I
this.
like the gang up. Hey, just listen. I'm on my second
How about
Canadian
think
club.
about listening?
Yeah, another thing about listening. I don't do it myself, but I'm tell everyone else to listen. Listen. Listen with your ears.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But you didn't read stuff in advance. He didn't expect you to. He,
He
wasn't
didn't
like,
expect me
"I've got
to.
a
It's
book."
like, yeah, prove that you
Yeah.
read it. And he went, listen. No, it wasn't. I read the psychopath test.
Yeah.
I was really interested in that. And then I had him on my podcast Confessions because it was like, it goes hand in hand, really. People writing on reddit.com, probably psychopaths.
Oh, yeah.
So then we kind of identified a few psychopaths as we're going through it.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, I love his book, The Men Who Stare at Goats. And I've been a big fan of them. And Them was, I think, his first one. And yeah, I think he's writing a new one at the moment as well. So
Yeah.
there's more coming out from him, and he's a great writer.
It's interesting you got him sort of in between projects because a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, I'm only going to
promote.
podcast.
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
Like
to
they have a
sell
comedy
something.
show coming up.
That is
Yeah, like they have a comedy show. Yeah,
comedy
yeah,
show that
yeah.
I need to sell tickets for
Yeah,
came up.
yeah.
Fantastic. You might not have seen this, Sam, but me and Mason watched season 3 of Invincible.
Invincible.
Oh.
Animated series based on the comic book.
Yeah.
by Robert
okay.
Kirkman.
Yeah,
Incredible
Yeah.
comic book.
Yeah.
It's basically about a Superman-esque character who, well, his dad's a kind of Superman character, and then he gets superpowers as he becomes a teenager.
He has to live up to the great reputation of his father, but then it turns out his father's kind of a bad guy.
Yeah.
By kind of a bad guy, I mean a really bad guy.
a really bad guy.
Really bad
Done
guy.
bad stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically 3 seasons of him being beaten up.
Oh,
yeah.
great.
And then
It's pretty
he gets,
brutal.
And then he gets stronger, and then a new person goes up and goes, "I'm stronger than you," and he gets beat up, and he's like, "Oh, I hate this."
I hate this.
Increasingly big mustaches.
Yeah,
oh, that's
also,
nice.
yeah.
I like that.
But yeah,
That's
and
fun.
also I would say wildly varying animation.
Yeah.
And I
New
think-
season much better.
New season much better.
Yeah.
And I think they really the animation budget goes to these sequences where a new bad guy shows up on Earth and blows everything up and
Yeah.
breaks everybody's arms and legs and twists somebody's head off and whatever. And we go, whoa.
How big's his mustache though?
This new guy's mustache is big and it's
Pretty big.
white.
It's big
Yeah.
and it's white.
The
Okay,
new
good.
villain this season is his name
Conquest.
escapes Conquest. His name
Yeah.
escapes me every single time.
Yeah.
Conquest. Yeah.
So what happens in this season, which to fill you in on the show you haven't watched, and just to jump to season 3.
Yeah.
Oh, but if we might have to fill him in. So his father.
Yeah.
It's about a guy called Invincible.
Uh-huh.
And
Spoilers,
he's
everyone.
not really
Yeah.
invincible, but he's
Yeah.
mostly invincible. He's very strong.
Yeah.
And his father is Omni-Man, who's the main hero of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out Omni-Man he's actually from an alien race
Oh.
whose goal is to go to different planets and take them over. But when he came to Earth, he was like, I'll ingratiate myself into the planet.
He becomes their Superman and heads up their version of the Justice League and whatever.
Right, okay.
And then he kills them all, and you're like, who did it? And it was him.
Oh.
He's like, I needed them out of the way for conquest of this planet.
Now he's conflicted.
Yeah. And then his son has to fight him, and he just gets half beaten to death, his son. And he's like, well, I live for 1,000 years. I'll have another son. I don't even care. But then he has a crisis of, what he's doing, and then he flies off and whatever.
Well, if you're beating up your son, I guess you've got to have a crisis at some point.
You'd hope so.
You shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like Bean Dad all over again.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And so it's just him dealing with different threats, and it just gets more bizarre in terms of like villains he faced and people from different dimensions. So in the second to last episode, a villain from a previous season who's got interdimensional powers goes and gets different versions of Invincible from other realities, like 10 of them, brings them to Earth and just has them lay waste to like every city on Earth. And so they're all the equivalent of him, except they're awful. So just as they deal with that, they're knocking down the Sydney Harbour Bridge and whatever.
Sydney, Australia mentioned.
Oh,
They
Australia.
mentioned,
That's
yeah.
actually great. That's huge
The
for us.
next, another guy
They
from
knocked down every Hungry Jack's.
Oh, no. I hate that now.
Yeah.
Devo.
Burger Kings go straight up.
They decimated Gumbaya Park.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Well, the city meets the
Tyne
country.
And Wobby's World.
Oh, good lord. So just as they're dealing with that, they're picking through the rubble and fixing it. Another guy shows up from his dad's planet and he's
A
like,
lot of guys showing up.
Yeah.
and he's
With
like,
big mustaches.
I'm here to like make sure you're taking over the Earth because you were supposed to do that since your dad left. And then they have this knockdown, drag out brawl. Except this guy who turned up is like the craziest person from their planet, and he's just. And it's in the comic is great, and I feel like this does it even better. Like it basically does the same fight, except there's this moment where he stops and he's like, just before he's about to kill Invincible, and he's like, I'm lonely. He's like, no one likes me, no one talks to me because I don't even have a real name. Like they just send me planet to planet, and then you realize he's telling him because he's gonna kill him.
We've all had that feeling.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal. Like it's so incredible.
Was it animated series?
It's animated.
So what's
You couldn't make it live action.
They're trying to do. They're going to do a movie.
You can't do
I
anything
don't see
anymore.
how they
So
could.
they're doing. So what's interesting about Invincible is it's when would it have started? A decade ago?
No,
More than
it
that?
started.
15?
I reckon like 2006 or something like that.
But
Yeah,
what it
right.
is it's a new universe, and it's sort of stylistically like a Marvel universe or a DC universe, but it's all new.
Yeah.
And which allows them to sort of do whatever they want.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like
2010 it started.
You can't have a Spider-Man story where the entire planet is destroyed.
Sorry,
Yeah,
2003 it started.
Thank
God.
you. Because
Thank
that
you.
would make things difficult for
Yep.
Yeah.
subsequent stories or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this universe, because it's entirely new and it's under the control of one particular writer and artist,
Yep.
they can just have it be,
They kill everybody all the time.
they can destroy cities and
Wow.
create iconic characters and then kill them straight away. And what's also interesting is that the people behind the comic book, Robert Kirkman, who wrote it, he's also producing this show, so he can sort of subtly rewrite things.
That's so
So
interesting.
he's talking about how this is kind of like a second draft to him.
Yeah,
So they've
wow.
done stuff like, some of the, because it came out in 2003, some of the language is not particularly appropriate anymore, or some
Political correctness.
some opinions and stuff, but also like he can sort of fine tune the characters and give them more personality. Apparently there was a story that they never got to do where Invincible goes down to hell and meets the devil, and they never got to do it for time constraints back in the day. And they're like, well, we could put it in now. We'll put it in the next season because because we've got the time and people seem to like this. So
It's great.
Yeah.
It's got
Are
a
you
great
loving
cast.
it as a version of this, like of the comic book? Is it a good make
I
of that?
I love the comic. I think, and some of it hasn't dated as well because he has a gay friend in the comic book who's closeted, and there's a lot of kind of jokes around that.
Yeah.
Whereas the way they handled it in the now it's different. Like it's handled, there's more tact to it.
Yeah,
But the cast is incredible. So Stephen Ewan, who is incredible. He was in Beef. I don't know if you saw Beef.
I
He's
love
the
Beef.
lead.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hamill's in it. Seth Rogen produces it. Like John Hamm's in it. It's an amazing. Walter Goggins, incredible. J.K. Simmons plays his father. It's just this amazing cast. It's
got
just
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
I've forgotten his name again. It's gone. Conquest. Thank you. There we go.
because I don't know if you ever saw The Walking Dead. But
Yes,
they
yeah,
showed
yeah.
off. They fight in this, but Glenn from The Walking Dead and Negan. It doesn't matter. But the guy who wrote this also wrote The Walking Dead, so it's the same
wow.
author. So yeah. I mean, you'll probably watch the first episode and be like, okay, it's kind of like Justice League, and then at the end of the first episode, it's like, oh no, this is different.
Yeah,
And
right.
violent and awful and sad and traumatic.
All right.
Walton Goggins also has his own goggle business. Do you know that?
That's true,
It's called
yeah.
Goggles.
What?
Goggins Goggles.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and all of the promotion is just basically him saying that.
Yeah. But also, they're
Oh
not-
my
they're not
God, he
really,
does.
They're more Oakleys.
They're more-
They
they're
are
more
Oakley.
They're like
Yeah.
speed dealer sunglasses.
He looks
yeah.
good. Listen
I
to
gotta
that.
say, I think he can pull them off. I don't
He's
think
having a moment right
anybody
now.
else can.
Yeah.
Look at these.
Yeah, I've
they
seen
are
him.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
He kind of looks a little bit like Tommy Wazoo. With
At
them.
least it's not like another tequila brand or
Yeah.
a
Yeah, that's
coffee
right.
or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
It's
just-
Goggles.
yeah, it's goggles.
Walter Goggles.
Walter Goggles.
Yeah.
Goggles.
Anyway, love it. Cool. Anyway, thanks again, Sam. All your stuff is linked below. Everyone should
Thank
check
you
it
so
out.
much. Can I say, grab that gem?
No.
Okay.
We say that at the end.
yeah,
I say
yeah.
it mostly.
I
That's
just wanted to
my
ask-
thing.
I was
That's
asking
my thing,
if I
Sam.
could say it because I was going to say you guys after it.
It should have been
and
an
I
off-air
didn't.
conversation.
Okay,
Now we
no,
have to make it awkward.
And that's fine.
Now we have to
And
make it
that's
awkward.
fine to
I'm
say.
saying
I
no
just asked a
publicly.
question.
I'm saying
I
no
just asked a
publicly.
question.
No. No.
Don't silence me.
Actually, that's mean. You can say it once.
Yeah.
Grab that gem, you guys.
I don't like it.
No.
I'm so no.
No,
I'm
I
going.
did
I did like it. I
It
did
felt
like
weird
it.
when I said
did.
it.
And you,
And
James,
I hate that I said it.
you need to settle.
I hate that I said it.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Oh, what next segment? We'll
Letters.
Letters. Oh, you got to play the letters theme.
Oh, yeah.
You ready though, aren't you?
Yeah.
While you're doing that, Sam, be quiet. He hasn't left.
He has left.
No, he hasn't. If you go to bigsandwich.co, we've done a playthrough of the Punisher arcade game. We played as both the Punisher and also Nick Fury.
That's right.
Great game.
It is fun,
If
isn't
you're
it?
subscribed to that, I mean, there's thousands of hours of bonus stuff, but that's the newest.
Gets a little samey towards the end.
I don't think so. I was
right.
with it the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're also checked out.
Yeah, wasn't even there.
That's great.
Yeah,
Anyway, here's the letters theme.
I agree.
The classic one was letters, oh letters.
That's funny.
We
It's
love
funny.
you. Some letters, they're only a take away. You know they're here right now. We're gonna do letters.
Whoa, if you do want to reach the show, it's quite simple. You can simply email Mason at weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
Keep them pithy, use paragraphs. Or you can go to facebook.com Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Group.
That's right.
And there's a thread in there every week.
And,
And
you don't
then-
have to keep that pithy at all.
Don't have to worry about it.
Just an unbroken block of text, screens and screens and screens. Just
Yep.
keep going.
And it won't make the show.
No, it
but
won't
you
be.
can
You
do
can.
it.
I mean, if you need a place to express yourself in an
Yeah.
essay format, in an unformatted essay format,
That's
feel
the place
free.
to do it.
Feel
Also,
free.
I said in the post this week that nobody comment on each other's comments, and it seems like nobody's been doing that.
wow.
So
The power you
turns
wield,
out the
James.
control that I have is
Wow, that's
quite
amazing.
mind-bending.
Wow.
Yeah. Would you like to
You
read
should
a
start
letter?
a Severance style cult.
I will.
Good. Here's an email from Kieran.
Kieran Culkin.
No.
You going to say their name?
Kieran.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want a full name.
Well, it says Mr. Lumb, Lumb, but that seems like a fake name.
Okay.
Kieran Lumb?
Kieran Mr. Lum.
Kieran Lumb.
Mm.
Hello, James and Meso. With the news that Scary Movie 6 is hitting cinemas this year,
What?
I don't know. This is made up. That could be fake news. I couldn't help but wonder why the spoof genre seems to have died. My parents showed me Mel Brooks' excellent genre spoof trilogy, Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs, and Young Frankenstein.
Apparently
when
it's
I was younger.
2026 this is out.
Okay.
Movie 6, yeah.
The mid-2000s might have killed spoofs with poor offerings, disaster movie, Meet the Spartans, date movie, etc., with the exception of the Scary Movie franchise. So with it returning, who do you think would be a good director to tackle the genre?
First of all, not coming out this year, next year.
Okay.
Good question. I think the Wayans are back as well.
So first question, I guess, why has the spoof genre died? I think it's because there's too much going on.
I think they're bad.
Okay, sure.
They got bad. And I think also there is that idea, and I think Seth Rogen's talked about this, where Marvel have just taken over comedy. Have been like, that's where jokes are now.
we talked. Yeah, that's true. And we talked about when we talked about Deadpool, the most recent one. I did say something to the effect of, "It is just like a Hot Shots,
Yeah.
but of Marvel stuff.
Yes.
Like they're doing their own satire or parody or whatever.
Hot
it is
Marvel.
of their own. You're right. And
Marvel shots.
yep, good.
Not another.
Deadpool.
I don't know, man.
You okay?
Oh my God.
Long day for you.
I'm dying. No, I'm fine.
Did you say you were hungover earlier? No,
I'm
Sammy
not-
said he was.
Sam
hungover.
was hungover. I'm not
hungover
hungover.
earlier. Okay, right.
I'm better than ever.
You don't seem that.
I'm worse, Mason.
You seem worse.
I'm hungover.
Yeah. But I think it's. I think you're absolutely right, and in simply parroting what Seth Rogen said.
Thank you.
That Marvel does all the jokes now. You got to expect jokes, but also I think it's because there's too much going on, and the
Yeah.
expectation that that they, like the idea of like, should we put in this meme
Yeah.
as a reference because everything is going so fast. First of all, did you see it in the first place, this meme? or were you not online that day and it's gone?
Yeah.
And secondly, like,
You're right.
Do you even remember it or care? Like now, like back in the olden times, James, a meme would sustain us for weeks.
The Leave Britney Alone meme guy
yeah.
got a shout out in whatever, Meet the Spartans or whatever.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Whereas like that wouldn't fly now. I think you have to kind of make the jokes.
They fly now?
Oh, very good. You kind of
That's a
have to
meme.
make the jokes or the cultural touchstones. They can't just be flash in the pan things. Like it would have to be like, oh, I don't know. We just talked about it. Like this is a Severance reference. This is a Game of Thrones reference.
Severever reference.
Like it'd have to be more like that than like Milkshake
Well, I mean,
Duck.
when you think of something like Airplane, that is largely timeless, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, airplanes, you know?
So true, isn't it?
So
we
true.
all look at them.
We all look at them and we love them.
But they have moved largely towards, and I guess they're like, well, the audience only wants pop cultural references now.
Touchstones.
But that's not true because, like, way more people, I'm sure, have seen Airplane than they've seen any Scary Movie 5.
Probably.
Surely.
I don't think I've seen Airplane, but I have seen Scary Movie 5.
Okay, then.
So I don't know what to make
Who's
of
in
any
Scary Movie 5?
of them. Probably Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards.
Probably
and
them.
Whatever else.
Is Leslie Nielsen in it for a second? He's the mayor?
Or the president or something?
He might be, yeah.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Who would you like to see direct something like this?
I mean, I mean, wouldn't it be interesting to get like, you know, the Lonely Island guy?
Yes.
Do something like that with a parody.
Any of the Lonely Island
any
guys.
Of them,
any of the
any
three
and
Lonely
all of
Island
them.
guys.
Yeah. Because, you know, they did Pop Star, Never Stop, Never
That's
Stopping,
true.
among other things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess that is a spoof genre, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more kind of Spinal Tap than...
Yeah.
Like,
Still.
it's spoof in the sense that, like, the Leave Britney Alone guy will be there or whatever, you know?
are obsessed with
Well,
the
there was
Leave
also
Britney
Britney
Alone.
Spears shaving her head. I remember it
Yeah,
mostly being Britney Spears
Yeah,
jokes
there
from
was-
the limited clips I've seen of
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not. I don't know. I never loved this genre. The modern version of it, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, I like Hot Shots and Men in Tights and whatever else, but I don't. I feel like people do skits of this as well. There's like.
Yeah, that's also probably the reason. That, you know, you can just go to, if you want a topical reference, somebody's probably made a sketch of it, even probably on Twitter. You don't even have to look.
Yeah.
You just open Twitter and scroll for a second and somebody's done, or TikTok. and
Exactly.
somebody's just done whatever the current thing is. So you get a steady stream of this. You don't have to wait 3 months and then see it at the movies.
Exactly. I like Chris and Jack. Do you know this YouTube channel?
You know what? I had not seen Chris and Jack before ever.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks ago, I saw one. They've been doing it for like 10 years, right? And I'd never heard of them before, but now I get a bunch of them. They're really great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not spoofs strictly, but there's a genie one which is amazing.
I
like a
recently
Genie
saw that
Loophole
one, which is about a guy. He gets 3 wishes from a genie, and his first wish is, if I suggest a wish to you, tell me how you are going to kind of give it to me in a
monkey paws kind of.
In a monkey paw kind of situation, and he goes through a bunch of them over and over again.
Yeah.
It's really, really clever stuff. Yeah.
They do one, I don't know if you've seen this one, it's a palindrome one where the skit works the same forwards and
I haven't
backwards.
seen that one.
And it's like, you know, like Tenet or whatever, and it's like,
right.
it's great. I really like that one. And there's, I know not, like, I feel like there was a era of YouTube sketch comedy which was just Drek. And it was just screaming and people yelling about Nintendo 64 or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't like that. Whereas this is like
how intriguing.
Interesting sci-fi.
Says a lot about you, doesn't it?
It does. It's interesting sci-fi concepts and like and elements of the afterlife and whatever. I think they're great.
I think they're great too.
I think they're better than you.
Well,
they're my mashed potatoes. Or I'm their
I've just
mashed
opened
potatoes.
YouTube and there's one right there.
There you go. Clone FOMO.
Clone FOMO.
I don't think I've seen that one. There you go. Anyway, here's a letter from anonymous member 513. He says, did you watch Adolescence? What did you think about one take / shot episodes? What do you think about one take / shot episodes?
I think they're great.
liked
Good on
it.
them. I actually have an email here, also from Connor.
Yep.
Oh, boys, hope you're doing well. Wanted to send a letter to suggest a show that everyone's talking about here in Ireland and in the UK. It's Adolescence on Netflix. Each episode is a genuine one-er, so continuous one take, no cuts. For real?
Yeah, for real.
And it follows the story of a family caught up in a murder in their town, stars Stephen Graham. He was also in a movie where he's a chef, the name of which escapes me, which was also a one take.
Oh.
What's it called?
That Burnt with Bradley Cooper?
No, it's not called Burnt with Bradley Cooper.
You thinking of The Bear?
No, I'm not thinking of the movie The Bear.
Thinking of anonymous member 513's email about adolescence?
No.
Oh, speaking of, because you just said your letter in the middle of my letter.
Yeah, that's right.
I liked it, and the subject matter is important to discuss. Stephen Graham is a brilliant actor. I did watch all of this.
Boiling Point.
Boiling
It's called
Point.
Boiling Point. It's from 2021. And then there was a series after that.
Phenomenal show, by the way.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
I don't know much about it, but is it about a kid who is being...
He's accused of a murder.
and he's sort of being influenced by far-right kind of manosphere guys.
Exactly. So there's that element of it. It's just really heartbreaking as well and gripping. And
sounds like it'd be tough for the little kid to do.
yeah, he's phenomenal.
Is he in every scene or just like...
No, because there's different episodes. There's only 4 episodes. And one episode is just set with the detectives at the school, and it's just them walking around the school talking to different students, and it kind of evolves from there. But some of the camera work in it is you do also, to its credit, you're not looking at it as a wanna. You're not you're not caught up in like the technicality of it. The performances really drive it, and just the timing of it. Like it's fucking brilliant.
Created by Stephen Graham as well. There you go.
Really good. I also very sad.
Stephen Graham, delightful. People would remember him as Tommy from Snatch.
Yes.
And a bunch of other stuff. He is in Boardwalk Empire and all sorts of stuff.
He's got that new boxing show or whatever. Underground Boxing Man.
But anyway, delightful. Unless he gets cancelled, in which case we never liked him. He's in The Line of Duty.
Owen Cooper's the kid's name. Yeah.
Not Boardwalk Empire, Peaky Blinders.
Oh.
Unless he's also in Boardwalk Empire.
Maybe, it seemed like he could be.
And also, of course, he's in a couple of the Venom movies. To which we no shade to anyone again.
But those are bad movies.
Well, they're bad movies.
And
but
he shouldn't have done it.
You take your money and you should do it.
No,
you take your money and it's not your fault. No
Make
matter
a bad
happens.
Venom movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I really want to talk about the ending, but I won't. I'll let people.
So it's all out now.
It's all out.
Oh.
And again, 4 episodes. And he's talking about doing it as an anthology series, which I think would be interesting.
What if adolescence met Black Mirror?
What if it did?
Kid's on his phone too much.
Black-alescence.
Black-alescence.
Adult mirror? I don't know. This isn't anything.
We're trying and it's important.
I don't think
Really
it's good what we're doing.
Here's an email from Joe, and I think this will raise the tone.
Okay.
Letters, piss on my shoes.
Okay.
I know hearing about other people's dreams is the most boring possible topic and usually true, but I thought you want to know about this dream I had a few months ago. We do.
I'm listening.
Anyway, me and my buddy Harv have been listening to you for years, and I had this dream that we went to a live show, and there was a big drum roll towards the end, and everyone's cheering really excited, and we were confused. Didn't know what was going to happen next, and there was this announcement that was something like, and now for everyone's favourite segment, time for Mesa to piss on your shoes. And basically, a big Jumbotron kind of screen, a searchlight picked us, and we were arguing which one of us had to go up and get our shoes pissed on by Nick Mason. But not like arguing not to be us, arguing that the other one should have the honour of getting pissed on. Very modest, very selfless, very humble. Anyway, cheers from Liverpool. Keep it up.
Didn't you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking of. This is not a dream, it's a memory.
Yeah.
You're thinking about your memories somewhat.
That's right.
What's happened there.
That is a wild thing to dream about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't condone it.
And also as if I do that for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Come
You're not
on.
going to give that away.
Yeah. That's right.
Amazing. I don't think we'll probably incorporate that into any of our live shows.
I don't think
or
so
even
either.
this show. Yeah.
No.
The regular podcast. But I might do this, Mason. It's from Cameron, who
I
says...
mean, we would sell our clean piss to you if you need to do a drug test. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah, I'll do that. I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, not your bloody piss. There's bloody enough cocaine in it to kill a bloody horse, mate.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, come on, mate.
Go on, mate. Sorry, I meant if you want to fail the drug test.
No, I just
If you're in a position where you're like, man, I'm sick of this job, but I keep passing my drug
Yeah.
test, I'll sell you some piss with cocaine.
Yeah. And what he actually does, he mixes it into the piss and then he drinks it. That's how Mason takes his cocaine.
That's right.
So that's interesting.
That's right, yeah.
Cameron Dixon says, "G'day, boys.
G'day, boys.
Will you consider bringing back your just a movie rating?" Did we ever even use that? James put the idea out there for BVS back in the day, and it seems appropriate for highly budgeted yet mediocre straight-to-streaming movies like Red One and The Electric State. I often get torn on this because so many movies are just a movie, but I like having to choose.
Me too.
I think
Because,
it makes it more interesting.
Yeah, and I think,
Some people do not understand that.
no, and I think, first of all, yeah, like if you're confused by our rating, if you're like, that you said best movie ever, and it was the worst movie ever, listen to the review.
Yeah.
But also, I think pretty much any movie you can say, well, there was more good to this than bad, and therefore you can tip it either way.
I don't know. I didn't hate it.
But also, it's kind of fun to say this was the best movie ever, and it's actually terrible.
Yeah, and it's bad.
Everybody gets mad.
Or mediocre.
That's so true.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoy the, I guess, conflict, whatever the word is, of just like, I have to call this best movie ever. That sucks.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a sad day for cinema.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Oh, I love this. So we got this comment. I told you about this earlier. It said the thumbnail and title of the video, because I put up the video of us talking about
Electric
State. And the title is Netflix Does It Again, brackets derogatory. And then the thumbnail, it says dull. And this comment
In
says,
really big text.
this comment says, the thumbnail and title of the video would imply they didn't like this film, but they gave it a best movie ever rating. They're too scared to be critical of anything. So I don't know how to... I also like comments like that. I don't know. I think that's very funny that you could see that and listen to it and get to the rating and then be like, oh, they just praised this movie. What? Even if I did like it, why would I make that thumb? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a strange conclusion that they've come to. Love it.
You say you're loving it, but you're also wielding that knife again. I don't know if you've noticed.
It's for me.
Yeah.
Wielding.
Can I get a knife also?
You can bring your own knife.
I don't want to bring a knife from my home.
Okay.
You could provide a knife.
I'll provide you. I'll get you a podcasting knife.
Thank you.
For stabbing our guests.
I don't want to have to bring a knife back and forth.
That's a fair point, actually.
Because I can't, if the police stop me, what am I going to say? This is a
It's
knife
for
for podcasting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got another email, Mason?
I do. This one's from Parker. Hi, guys. I'm a mortician down in Texas and mainly run the retorts, brackets cremation machines,
Sick.
at the mortuary I work at. That's a funny name for a cremation machine.
The
retort.
The retort.
You know?
How does that work? Just a big fire? Like an oven?
It says here just a big fire like an oven. Like a big fancy pizza oven. That's what it says here.
Good. You keeping your lunch warm in there?
I'd wager that your voices are the last thing that more than 1,000 bodies have listened to.
What do you base that on?
Because he's been listening to the podcast.
Oh.
On a speaker.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that like people listen to this and then they die.
Maybe.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
This is, so the dead listen to this.
Not
Do
really.
they count as listeners?
Brackets, not really. They are dead. They can't hear things. My question to you all is, do you have an ideal funeral planned? Being a huge cinephile myself, I want my loved ones to rent a theater out, wheel my casket right in front of the screen, and show a triple feature of my favorite movies, although I still haven't figured out what those will be yet. Bonus points if the theater has an open bar.
Yeah.
From Parker.
Who's paying for that?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess all his mortuary money.
I guess if I had to choose.
His Morty bucks.
It would be, I don't know, it would be something that I just don't go out of your way.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
think
I mean?
that's...
Just keep it low key.
Yeah.
Don't spend a bunch of money on it. You know,
Yeah.
I prefer people like, you know, look after my family or whatever and, you know, give them some money. I don't know. Right?
Yeah. Give them some money.
That could be my funeral.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
too
mean, it's
fast.
the classic, you know, cremate and then have your ashes thrown in your worst enemy's face.
I do love that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
So you.
Yeah, and you. We just have agents who are just like, just throwing two things of ashes at each other.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, low key's good.
Yeah.
Something
religious? Something that goes for a while?
No, short, quick. Oh, you know, that's what people would want.
Yeah.
I think I would want people to leave and go, man, that was short, wasn't it good?
Also, I want people to be devastated.
Oh, Devo.
Just broken forever.
Yeah, right.
Except for my kids.
Oh, they'll be fine?
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, short and sweet is good, I think.
Short and sweet's good, yeah.
Even like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then food.
I got to say, though, there is something, I mean, that's the point of them. There's something I really like about a funeral. If they really nail, like, the tone of the person and the way that they're spoken of, I think that there's something, like, really beautiful about that. Yeah. And
well,
it's
in
a
that
shame.
case, mine would start late. Mine would start 15 to 20 minutes late. And they could put a petrol...
And it's also because you're late.
Yeah. And they could put a petrol station coffee on the casket. That's on top of there. Ready to go.
God, I'm just tapping my foot.
And just a
I'm
guy...
there.
And just a
I'm
guy...
there, Mason.
Yeah. And just a guy, like, just rustling a chip packet over the mic. I think people would enjoy that.
I agree. This is from Paul Plant, who says, will you be playing Assassin's Creed Shadows? I've seen a lot of people writing it off before they even play it. I know. It's not... for any of the apparent controversial reasons, I've just dropped off this series 10 plus years ago. And I also played Ghost of Tsushima, and I really enjoyed that, and I don't want to do this.
Oh, a potentially less good Japanese theme.
I'm just well over these.
Right.
If I went back to Assassin's Creed, I would play the pirate one, which I never did.
Do you think Ubisoft should get that team, or whatever team they haven't fired yet, and do an historical video game in the style of this, but cut out the weird aliens egg stuff?
Maybe. I don't even know where they're at with that, to be honest.
I don't know. I feel like they've sort of mostly cut that out, right?
It would be cool if they eventually did the future version of this.
I want to see the future one.
I mean, you see glimpses of it in other games and whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I also don't care about this enough to want to do it.
Yeah. Also, with the future, they kind of have to decide on what the future looks like.
Yeah.
If they're doing historical,
Glass.
if they're
Steel.
if they're doing historical, they can just sort of like look at the history books
Just
and simply copy the history books.
Boring.
Boring.
Future stuff. I'm writing future stuff.
Okay.
Trying to see if there's any future stuff in Assassin's Creed. I don't. The new one. I don't know. Oh, it's going to utilize the Animus, so it's in there. Great.
Okay, great.
Good.
Great.
Oh, but I've never been into my ancestors' memories. Well, this is an Animus, and you have to use it, and we got to do a time travel. But it's not time travel.
No.
We're looking at memories. We're all looking at each other's memories. I think there's a really strong core gameplay to Assassin's Creed, but maybe, I don't know. This is from Daniel,
Okay.
who said you get sad when daylight savings ends. I do a bit. Nah.
Which
I
one is
like
that
the
again?
change. Daylight savings where it gets
No, I know what it is, but
darker.
when it ends, when daylight
When it
savings
gets
ends,
darker
earlier.
Getting colder.
Uh,
I like it. I like the change. One of the good things about Melbourne, Mason, is
Go on.
I like the change of seasons. I like the way it is different throughout the year. You know, it's really hot, and you're like, I don't even remember what it's like to be cold.
Yeah.
And it gets really cold, and you're like, I don't remember what it's like to be hot.
I like it when it's cold. I wish it was cold all the time.
And you love seasonal depression.
Yes.
I
I wish it was 15 degrees Celsius every day.
like t-shirt and jeans weather.
Interesting.
That
See,
is
I
my-
can do it, but that's the thing. I could do t-shirt and jeans in 15
Oh
degrees.
yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going out though, you're gonna need a jacket for later in the night.
I don't know if I will though.
No?
I overheat very quickly.
Damn, this guy's running hot.
I'm running hot. You know why? Because of my hot takes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So what if you don't have any hot takes?
I can't anymore. I have to have hot takes. Back in the day, I decided I'm going to have hot takes all the time, and then I started running hot.
It's interesting that it fuels you in such a way.
Yeah,
Like I've never heard of a person who can sustain an internal core temperature by having hot takes.
Well, I'm the next evolution of humanity.
Interesting.
That's simply the case. Sorry if that upsets you.
No, it doesn't upset me. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
What
kind of
you
where
don't know
I'm at.
could fill a bloody warehouse.
It's true. Probably more even.
Yeah,
Probably a
easily.
warehouse and then like a big van.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Parked outside the warehouse
Yep.
in the car park.
It's right.
Yeah. But to answer your question, yes, I always run hot. So
It's true.
15 degrees, that's the stuff.
All right then.
Yeah.
And that is the show.
I'll go on with a letter.
Oh God. This guy needs
It's a
hot
quick one.
takes.
Keeping it brief, he says.
Let's
That's what
do
we
it.
like. We're going to reward keeping it brief, James.
Okay.
This is from Aaron. Hey, James and Mesa. I saw Graham Norton live in Melbourne last weekend.
Oh.
Quick question. Who are your boys' top 3 favourite talk show hosts? For me, it's 1, Conan O'Brien, 2, Graham Norton, 3, the rest can be put in a bin. Love your work from Aaron.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien's 100% number one for sure, easily. Yeah.
Who else? Yeah, I like Graham Norton.
Yeah.
I like clips of Graham Norton, which is how I watch Graham Norton.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, you've got a funny story, don't you, Oscar Isaac? And he's like, I do have a funny story.
Right.
And then we get a funny story.
Apparently, how they do the guest runs there is they put in a comedian if they think the existing guests aren't going to work, like on a kind of like an interaction level. If they're like, I think the chemistry on these two is bad, they'll bring in a comedian.
Yeah, they put in a local British comedian that nobody up there knows.
That's right.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Good dynamic. I mean, he's an incredible interviewer as well. Third, Letterman. I don't know.
Letterman was always good. Yeah.
I
I think Conan O'Brien's doing his best work now.
Yeah,
Like I think he's so funny now. I don't regularly listen to his podcast, but I'll see clips of it all the time, man. It's just great.
Yeah.
It's good that Matt Gawley's there.
Let's go. Yeah, that's true. Jimmy Fallon. Colbert, I feel, is wasted in that format. John Oliver, but he's more. That's not really that kind of show. I never cared for James Corden. I think Bill Maher is a fucking idiot.
Well, that's a hot take. Are you feeling your core temperature rise, James?
No,
No, he sucks. You're
He
right.
sucks. He's fucking terrible. I don't know. I have no other opinions,
There you
I
go.
guess.
Here's a fun bit of Conan lore.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this. How he met his wife was when he was doing.
How he met his kid's mother.
Yes.
Go on.
When he was doing Late Night with Conan O'Brien, so like late
Well, the
90s, he learned that the station that carried the show in Houston, Texas, was running it at like 2:30 in the morning, so like a couple of hours later than normally. And so he started doing a bunch of Houston-centric bits. Like he would go to Houston and harass people on the street to watch his show and et cetera. And then he would also watch all the weird late-night local ads that were playing.
Yeah.
And one of them was for a guy, and he owned a furniture store, and his bit was that he would chainsaw his furniture. Like it was like, I'm slashing the furniture, and he would chainsaw.
Okay.
And so he went to Houston to give that guy like a marketing makeover. And so he hired a marketing firm to do that, and his wife was
Really?
worked at the marketing firm. So he has been married to this woman for like a quarter of a century
Yeah.
because some guy in Houston didn't like him and was like, let's bury this show. Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
Yeah.
Spite brings
Spite.
people together and tears them apart. Speaking of, we have to go, Mason.
We do have to
We've
go.
got to wrap it up.
Folks, thank you so much for listening. We absolutely appreciate it. Thank
do.
you for telling your friends about the podcast because that is how we get new listeners.
It's true.
And thank you for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. I bet there's an option to do it right in there right now.
My computer
absolutely
just died just then as you said that. That means it's been a long one. My
been a very
computer's
long
dying.
one. That's right.
Tisk, Mason.
Tisk.
That's for you.
Is it
I'm
for me?
Tisking you.
Because of my hot takes.
Yep.
I had too many hot takes.
It's true.
No
You
wonder
overheated my computer.
Yeah, that's right.
Got him here though on my phone.
Well, if
luckily.
you leave a 5-star review, backup recording start as well.
Oh no. That'll be fine.
Folks, if you do so, James will read one of your 5-star reviews on the podcast, as he's going to do right now.
This one's from Merefish, who says, almost perfect. Please ask someone to fix your YouTube playlist for the
Please
Weekly
ask
Planet
someone?
episode so they start with the oldest one instead of the newest one. No. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Why would it start with the... Obviously, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, just the bloody.
Actually, I didn't even read this one before. I just this
Thanks
insane person
thanks
wrote
for 5
this.
stars, but I mean, who's going to be like, oh, somebody told me the Weekly Planet was alright, I should listen to it. Oh, they've got some thoughts about the upcoming Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Oh, the Age of Ultron trailer has a... What are you talking
That's
about?
insane what you've said.
Thanks for the review.
Yep.
Nick D808 says, Aussie slang is corrupting my soul. Recently realized I unconsciously started adopting terms /humor /styles and phrases from podcasts I really enjoy. After years of listening to these two young gentlemen, I'm starting to sound like the bastard child of a new with my NYC accent mixed with Aussie slang. For that reason alone, I am forced to give them 5 stars. 1 for very satisfied, 5 for being very dissatisfied. Shame on you boys. In the words of Bird, Captain America, you need to do better.
We should,
do, don't we?
That is so true.
While you wrap this up, I'm going to get my charger and come back.
Oh, boy.
Can you do it without me?
Wow, can I do it without being interrupted by a rude guy who keeps going, "Brr, brr"? I don't know.
Oh, look at Mr. Hot Take.
Normally,
Is this one of your patented hot takes?
It might
just
be.
Nothing? Just nonsense from an idiot? All right, I'm leaving the room.
okay, that's enough to sustain me because otherwise, usually I wait for the insults. That shows me what place I'm in the outro, folks. If you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group or the Weekly Planet Podcast subreddit and Discord for fun civil chats about podcasts and pop culture. Thank you to Sarabi and Maisie and Fidel for moderating over at those forums. And also, they do a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes, including they post on TikTok for us. They make little videos for the Weekly Planet Clips channel. They edit our video game Let's Plays over a Big Sandwich and etc. If you want to follow some people over on the socials, you can follow our friend Rob Collins. He's at Rob Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. He'll keep you up to date on all things The Weekly Planet. You can follow myself at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter. And on Instagram, it's Nick Maso. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
I'm back in the room.
He is back in the room. Yuck. Just kidding. Ha ha. We muck around. Well, now I've lost my place.
I throw you off, did I?
Yeah, say something rude and then I'll be back in my place.
You're a goddamn... you're always zilly near.
It's so true, isn't it? That is so true, isn't it? If you want to support the show,
Yeah.
you can go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies, chuck in a buck or an amount you would novice, or you can go to bigsandwich.co, sign up for $9 per month, bonus podcasts, early videos, video game let's plays, movie commentaries, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy over there. It's too crazy. It's
crazy.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all our musical themes. And if you want a t-shirt, you go to tpublic.com, search for the Weekly Planet or Weekly Planet posters, and you'll get a t-shirt. And it'll
one
be
up.
fun, cool.
Yep.
Fun and cool. And that's what we're all about
Oh,
here.
man, cool.
Next week, something else. There's a Jason Statham movie coming out.
Oh, yeah. It's the beekeeper, but he's a workman.
That's right. That's right. What do you do for work? Stuff, things, work. I do work.
Well, I'm going to beat you up, but I'm secretly I was a government agent or something, or an assassin for the mafia. You know.
Yeah.
And then he does a black ops on everybody.
He does a heck of a Black Ops. Let me tell you. And maybe another thing. I don't know.
And maybe
we'll
another
figure it out.
thing.
We'll let
We
you
might
know.
have a guest.
We might have a guest. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Nice one. All right. Grab that gem, you
Yep.
guys. We'll see you next week.
We could put in Sammy P saying, grab that gem here.
Oh, yeah.
Should that be an official sign off from now on?
Yeah, Sammy P. Sure.
Grab that gem, you guys.
I don't like it.
No,
I'm so, no, I'm
I
going
did like it.